with me. Brothers, what we doing live?
Well, how is it going out there, my fellow world patriots? No, this is not the start of Rick and Morty. This is the start of Hold the Line. Interesting videos coming out here from the administration's team, I guess we could say in general here. But welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe we are offering you guys episode 219 today here of Hold the Line. And yeah, I think I mislabeled it when I did the show earlier. But Mr. Maxer, how has the week been, and how is everything, and what's your comfort level, as if I didn't know?
Hey, what's going on? Everything's good here. I think you got the link probably wrong on the episode. But everything's good. That's a very interesting symbology in that video you played. So we'll go through that here. Comfort levels very, very good. Looking forward to a very hot August. I think where things are picking up. Pulte went off last night, started to on Twitter, so X, yes. I mean. So a lot of stuff to get to just in the past 24 hours. So here we go. What do you want to start with the video here? What did you think of it? Did you pick up anything?
Well, I just, and that's what I messaged you. I'm like, wait, is that the Rick and Morty soundtrack? And you're like, I'm not sure. I'm like, so I went back and listened to it, and yeah, it is. They used the same soundtrack, and it's almost exactly like the same type of cartoonism that they use. Like, I wouldn't doubt that maybe they put it into an AI and said, make me, an intro with all President Trump background, but make it in a Rick and Morty style. And hey, why don't you even throw in the introduction song there? But it was pretty wild. But I mean, maybe without all the background noise going. Let me see if I can. Here we go. You go, yeah. Diet Cokes, presidential seals. And dude, I was mentioning this yesterday, really quick, but we never really got a good answer for what was going on. But you remember there was a period of time where, air quotes, Joe Biden's presidential seal was like either blurred out or just flat out gone when he was speaking. It was just a weird period of time. So, and I forget how long that span went, but it was a pretty lengthy time that we were noticing it.
I think that is a great example, and we'll get into it here in a little bit, but you're pointing out how the Democrats, the deep state, were trying to portray that Biden won, even though they got caught. So it was not in the best interest probably of everyone if we just went in there right at that moment, because the country was pretty torn. And so they pulled a slick one on us. So they used a lot of sleight of hand. Remember Biden and Kamala went on Air Force One? That's a no-no. You never have that happen.
Oh, both of them together, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's so many examples. We'll get to some of that. And this, we will get to that because it will tie into what this is about. Now, 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. Now, I noticed it could be 11.1.3 for the Law of War Manual, or 1.11.3 for also the Law of War Manual. And your good buddies, Entheos, remember they had a post that said, remember 111?
Oh, so I didn't even see that. No, but did they?
Yeah, it was a while back. It's in that graphic I made for the decode. So when we start getting into the meanings of what we're doing, so President Trump's still on his first term. It was, remember the process went, and I'm skipping a few things, namely President Trump rearranged FEMA and national emergencies to that the Marines were no longer heading it. It was the U.S. Army National Guard.
Mhm.
So that brought in the civilian aspect of that instead of the Marines who just go in and basically kill everything and take over land. That's what they're trained to do. So that was a very good thing. So we have 11.1.3, if you want to read what
Oh,
that is.
absolutely, dude.
And this gets very interesting. And what we're currently going through, all the way up to that video I'd made in the decode with November 3rd and November 4th was 0 day. So I think this is pointing out we're currently in preparation for the midterms, and we're finding out a lot of information of possibly what's transpiring coming up with midterms, and this could signal the end of continuity of government. So we'll get into that here in a second. So go ahead, read some of this, and it's pretty mind blowing to me.
I love it. Department of Defense Law of War Manual, June, updated July of 23. But didn't they update that right before President Trump came into office too, right? Like I think that was the fresh update was like in June 2015, and then they updated it again in 2023.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
correct.
Sweet. So, all right, 11.1.3, application of occupation law to situations not constituting belligerent occupation. The law of belligerent occupation is only applicable as a matter of law when certain conditions have been met. The law of belligerent occupation generally does not apply to mere invasion, liberation of friendly territory, non-international armed conflict, post-war situations. Nonetheless, it may be appropriate to apply rules from the law of belligerent occupation in such situations. Same section number of the Department of Defense Law of War addresses occupation and post-war situations. So we have the section outlines the legal transition from belligerent occupation to post-conflict governance, specifically defining termination of occupation. The status of belligerent occupation ends when the occupying power no longer factually governs the territory or when a hostile relationship no longer exists between the occupying power and the state of the occupied territory.
Pause right there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that has to do with our elections, I believe. So that's how they've been able to control the country is through the elections. So this is why fixing them is so important. But we fix the elections is possibly why it's been taking so long for our corrupt politicians not to pass the Save America Act. Because once we get a hold of that, they've lost the war.
Yeah.
And this, so we're getting a lot of delay tactics. We'll get to Mitch McConnell and how that's important. So continue here. This is crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and two, you got to think about, right? Like some people maybe not grasping the fullness of the situation that we're under. And again, it is so like blurs lines that of course we don't know exactly what's going on out there, right? But like essentially at the end of the day, our country was absolutely invaded, right? Infiltration, not invaded. Well, we were infiltrated. There we go. That's a better way to say it, right? And
yeah, definitely.
And all these people that infiltrated us, you have to look at them like they are the enemy because guess what? They are. So you got to see behind the scenes. We don't know exactly the legal framework down to the T because there's so much of this stuff. But continuing on, the continuation of obligations. Certain Geneva Convention obligations continue to apply for the duration of the occupation, even after the general close of military operations. Specific GC articles and Geneva Convention articles. Occupying power remains bound by specific articles such as those on humane treatment, property rights, and criminal proceedings as long as it exercises governmental functions in the territory. Post-occupation. It clarifies that the individuals entitled to protection retain that status until release or repatriation, and notes that while the strict law of occupation may end, applying certain rules by analogy may be appropriate in post-conflict scenarios. So going on down the line here.
So this would be if I got the numbers wrong and it was 1.11.1.3. Now, any other combination thereof, I do not believe is in the law of war manual. So I checked all the combinations. So this is interesting because even if this is a thing, then it points directly to 11.3. Here, I'll continue.
just ad bellum. All peaceful alternatives must have been exhausted. It's a necessity. Just ad bellum. The jus ad bellum condition of necessity requires that no reasonable alternative means of redress are available. For example, in exercising the right of self-defense, diplomatic means must be exhausted or provide no reasonable prospect of stopping the armed attack or threat thereof. The jus ad bellum criterion of necessity is different from the jus in bello concept of military necessity. Dude, this is awesome.
Wouldn't that kind of exemplify peace through strength?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
being exhausted. The most diplomatic way of doing things while preserving self-defense. So, and then, yeah, let's continue here.
Yeah,
I don't
and
want to get off track.
No, cool. And I'll just add to that, for what we're dealing with here, right? How many lawsuits have we gone through? And I'll put a little button in it by saying, what must be shown to, exalt the military intelligence over all these three-letter agencies. We're going through lawsuits left and right. See Mark Elias, if you want to go there. But so this part here is done. And dude, I had never seen this, so I'm taking it. We're going to go down from the top right here.
Let's go from the bottom right and then come up, because
Nice.
then it'll swing back around, I think.
That's awesome, dude. So they wrote, and I didn't even see this. This is August 11th, 2024. And Theo's team wrote, tomorrow is the now, Delta. Follow the nows. Follow the 111. It's all there. BHO. So I can only think that means Barack Hussein Obama, right? That's the only initials I know.
People on X were kind of pointing at this, and I was like, it was just the numbers thing came up, and I was like, well, 11.1 just addresses military occupation altogether. So if you follow that whole chapter, we're probably going to be, we're kind of following along as things occur. And it's extremely interesting. I don't know, take it wherever you want to go here, but in that, was it bottom there, the 11.1? What is that? Yeah, so it's just the chapter addresses military occupation. The GC provides specific rules for the internment of protected persons in occupation, which are addressed in Chapter 10. So, military occupation is a temporary measure for administering territory under the control of invading forces. Involves a complicated trilateral set of legal relations between the occupying power, temporary ousted sovereign authority, and the inhabitants of occupied territory. So I think, this even has to go back to his visits to like England and the UK. And
with the bees.
Yeah. So let's continue. We'll go up to that 11.3 because here we go.
1.3. Good. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. Here, read here and
feel free. You can read anytime you want. Just letting you know. But after the conditions described in 11.1.3, specifically detailed in 11.3 of the Department of Defense Law of War Manual, are met and belligerent occupation ends, the following legal transitions occur. Terminations of belligerent occupation status. Formal status of belligerent occupation ceases immediately when the occupying power no longer factually governs the territory or when the hostile relationship with the local state ends. Example, via a peace treaty or the establishment of a friendly local government. It says, at this point, let me make sure, okay? At this point, the specific legal framework governing belligerent occupation, such as the Hague Regulations, generally stops applying as a matter of strict law. Continuation of Geneva Convention obligations. Despite the end of the occupation status, obligations under the Geneva Conventions do not vanish instantly. 1 year rule. In occupied territories, the Geneva Convention provisions continue to apply for 1 year after the general close of military operations. That's interesting to me, that 1 year rule, because not much was going on in that first year, and it seems like things are firing off as we're going here.
Yes, so this would be like the year to elect people that are, we're replacing the old guard, and those people that weren't placed there legally, essentially, they got there in a fraudulent way. So by doing that, we're taking back the power of the country and control of it. And that was, it all had to do with the fact that we're correcting these elections. People are waking up to the fraud, just take from COVID on and look at where we were then to comparatively to now. And I think that we're with certain things like the Save America Act, that's going to save our elections. You have the Clarity Act, which is basically about our banking system. And then we got the basically what I think the golden age is our, and all the symbolism of gold and Trump is our return to possibly gold and having to do with our currency. So all these old institutions that have been in place, Department of Education's gone now, that all this very interesting revamp of the government along the way would point us to the fact that, it obviously is a continuity of government. They're shrinking the size of the government. The military itself is probably the most superior logistics organization out there. Bottom line, just
absolutely.
And so they go in and they're in charge of continuity of government. I think there's going to be a whole revamp, and we're witnessing that of what was in place, and we're getting the upgrades, we're getting the accountability, everything. And the last little straw is their control over our voting system and our our representation of political power. They always represent themselves as democracy because they think they wield the power, and that's the biggest irony of it all.
Right, dude. And and I'll tell you what, though, unfortunately, and it is very unfortunate, the other side has done a remarkable job of doing what they do. You know what I mean? Like the brainwashing and the constant attacks on President Trump have just they've done their intended deal. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, there are so many people out there that are just, and you can give them this stuff. Like, I can give them all this stuff, that we've gone through. Like, oh yeah, but he was working with Russia. Oh wait, here's handwritten notes from John Brennan. Like the whole proof of things. Oh, he's still whining about 2020. It's like, and these people just don't apparently remember. Because I guess you can throw them into the pile of people that were like, well, we want to make America great. Well, when was America ever great? It's like, oh, God, okay, you're one of those, right? And so, unfortunately, there's so many of those folks out there. But, yes, I feel a very big swing in things, especially this year and especially these last couple of months, like over the top, dude.
Yeah, and remember the national emergency of Executive Order 13848, which is foreign interference in our elections. So that still holds true, and he's wielding tremendous power with that, given the fact that we're coming up on midterms and we have not yet, passed the Save America Act. Even when we do, I would assume that we're going to have some security around it. But Trump's definitely got the cards coming up. How he goes about it. We've gone through the different options. National emergency. He brings in the National Guard. All kind. He used the EBS, whatever it's called now.
Emergency broadcast.
Yeah. So we've got some really, really positive things to secure the elections. I think he's trying to secure it into law so we don't have this delay again. Because eventually we're going to win it. It's just whether or not we can do it this time around. That's my take. If there's a lot more going on behind the scenes because it's classified, then so be it. But
yeah,
try looking into the PEDs. It's like impossible to find out certain things. It's pretty interesting because it's when nuclear war was a thing, it was the most top secret thing, was what we would do in a situation of nuclear war. So, like, remember that rumor Majestic 12 with UFOs and stuff? That's even part of it. So, I don't know. Alien invasion is a part of the PEDs. It's crazy.
Wow. That's bananas.
Now, so all this connects, all this network, all this old system, whatever you want to call it, deep state, people, the guardians of the truth.
Yes.
This is what it's all about, and it goes back a long ways.
Oh, it certainly does, dude. Now, I'm doing this a little bit out of order. I was going to pull up that video next that we were talking about just before the show here. And so some people are out there saying, Trump's just kidding. But then some people are saying, well, dude, he's had a Trump 2028 hats up for a long time. And you even have Bannon out there saying, there's a plan in place for it. And so without, he got a 5-minute video, but he's basically talking about like, would you, be okay with a Trump, 2028 ticket? Yeah, I could see that. And he's like, well, there are ways around it. But I mean, your thoughts in general there before we pull up that other video there?
We've got several rumors going around that that he can, and they are loopholes that he can become the speaker, and then he can work his way into the presidency if people, it's elected, not selected. So he could be vice president candidate and say Marco Rubio or JD Vance run for president, and hand over the presidency to President Trump. I think that muddles the legitimacy of the process. And I think that, what we just talked about, Trump still being on his first term, using the law of war manual, using all the laws that he put in place that were there before as well, precedents of the country splitting through Lincoln, and just so much history behind this that you could, I don't know, you would have 2 semesters in a university to teach what Trump's been doing and reverse. It's crazy. But we're learning civics in real life as we go, and it's a very, very unique time because this has never happened before. But I think, given the fact we were told it was an military operation to take down the deep state, not just in our country but globally, that it would fit that this is still his first term. Because remember the National Guardsman military transition of power. It was never a presidential transition. Remember that video?
Do I remember it, dude?
We played it in several episodes. I can't remember how many episodes ago, but it was the National Guardsman, the black guy with the black face mask.
William Walker.
Instead of a peaceful transition or presidential transition, it was military transition of power. So we automatically know.
I don't know what you're talking. I have no idea what you are talking about whatsoever. Okay, 21 seconds here, and it's a little muffled because of the face mask.
And this was in January 2021, correct?
Yes, this was at
right after January 6th.
Yeah, let's see if I can hear it first.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, Mike did the old mute everything. And, dude, I got to figure out how to do the thing because sometimes they just start playing audio by themselves. But here we go.
Happy holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King. And please allow me to say how proud I am of the almost 25,000 National Guardsmen who have come in from all 50 states and territories to help support the Secret Service and the police departments with a peaceful transition of military power. Happy holiday for Dr. Martin.
A peaceful transition of military power. Like, hey, we're just going to make sure the inauguration is good today. We're going to make sure the inauguration and the transition from one president to the next is secure and safe. But no, he decided to say we're making sure we're going to have a peaceful transition of military power. And again, with President Trump and the JAG officer and the military guys behind him on his inauguration day, right? And then you go fast forward to Joe Biden being locked out of the freaking White House. Like, dude, come on. Oh, dude, so it was too much.
Based off the fact that, a lot of this is because of Executive Order 13848, it was a sting. The whole thing was a trap. So, Space Force helped CISA in 2020 elections. I don't know if they were assisting prior to that at all, but we know that it's on paper or on digital paper. and so from that point forward, every election's been surveilled. And it's being, they knew that the fraud was going. Now they have to stop the processes from occurring. They've got to catch the bad guys, and then we've got to reclaim the control. So I think we're in the reclaim the control part, and
exposure. I think.
Yeah, obviously there's that too, making sure people wake up to everything. But I think the biggest thing would be, I still think Trump's still technically on his first term, and this would be his second term coming up. Now it would be, and then the even if it is he's running for a third term, it'd be up for the people in Congress that we elect to amend the Constitution. That's how it's supposed to be done. That would be the best way of going about it. So we elect the people that we want to make sure that we can have President Trump or someone of his caliber at some point in the future be president for more than 2 terms. And that's
Especially if they're
how it
doing
needs to
good.
be done. And that again follows what you were saying, getting the right people. You've always said getting the right people into office so that all these executive orders and actions can go into law.
That'd be sweet, wouldn't it?
I think I can't see any better way of doing it. You know, we actually, he, in that speech, he says, we're transferring power back to the people, that from the government back to the people. This is what he's talking about. And the first step was making sure that the Army National Guard was in charge of the national emergencies with the calling in the FEMA during this process here, because it's literally the civilian army.
I'm trying to remember something too, and and there's such weird stuff going on too, and I was thrown off a little bit there because I was going to ask AI a question, but like there's a lot of weird things going on, right? Like we got Fetterman over there, like seemingly acting like a Republican, and then you had that one dude, and I forget if it was what country it was, but they were like, oh, it's Soros's guy essentially, and apparently everybody, labeled him as a Soros clown, but oh, he won and Soros won, and now it's like, well, no, he's not a Soros dude, he's basically anti-Soros. So a lot of weird things. Now, Mac, we're going to absolutely stick on this topic right here, but I just wanted to show folks something here really quick because it is not breaking news or anything like that, but it is current as of, looks like 20 minutes ago. So it started 7:08, and I'm waiting for it. It says, Israeli Prime Minister Bibi is motorcading through D.C. en route to the White House. So I'm gonna be very interested to see a video of this guy get out of the thing, shake President Trump's hand, and what he looks like. But the interesting part here, it says that they both landed at Joint Andrews
the first
Base.
Arrest.
It would shock the world, right? Imagine he gets off,
yeah.
clink, clink.
Well, you never know at this point. We do live in the craziest of times.
That's right. I wouldn't doubt it. But weird part here is it says Bibi and President Trump landed at Joint Base Andrews at almost exactly the same time, but President Trump did not bring Bibi on board. It says, fun fact, Netanyahu is the only world leader besides the President of the United States who receives a presidential level escort in D.C. Only world leader besides the President. These escorts require a shutdown of I-396 and 695 for this piece of crap's body double. Okay, anyway. But yeah, back to President Trump in 2028. Whatever happened during his first administration, like that was absolute, resistance. And it wasn't just like, a couple politicians here and there. It was like the whole damn world, right? Like everything.
I mean, it was a coup.
100%.
Do you want to go back to the guy, Steve P., I call him, and what he said? Do you have that?
I can definitely pull it up for sure in about 30 seconds. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, good.
It explains when it started, and it was with the Clintons. And then you got to realize that he says that they were doing a coup back then, and that was in November of 2016.
Yeah,
is when it started, is what he said, I believe. But we'll find out here in a second. I thought I had it accessible right now. Hold on.
Not a problem. No, I'll have it in just a second here. I just forgot how to use YouTube. Apparently, Real Life Jack Ryan is the title of that. There we go. Bing, and this is a two-minute version of it.
In our county.
Yeah.
So this is 4 minutes here. So let me just pop this up here quick for you guys.
So the time frame of this is before we actually saw from Q. This
yes.
Is what,
so
right?
This video he uploaded here was 9 years ago. So just keep in mind, guys, the video that you're about to listen to that we've played a few times here, he said this in 2017. So just keep in mind of the time frame that we're dealing with here. Make sure we're not muted. We probably are.
On November 1, 2016, Hillary and Bill Clinton and their entourage of 2016.
What date exactly?
On November 1, 2016, Hillary and Bill Clinton and their entourage of assistants effected a civilian coup In contrast to the usual concept of a coup where the military is involved and takes over the White House and communication centers, very much like the scenarios you see in a movie, this coup was done silently and very effectively through two methods: corruption and co-optation. The Clintons have been involved in co-opting our White House, our judiciary, our CIA, our Federal Bureau of Investigation, our Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, and our Director of the FBI, James Comey, for some time now. What they've done is to make sure that they were part and parcel of a group of people who were interrelated through political cronyism. However, in order to stop this coup, we in the intelligence community and others involved have informally gotten together, and with their permission, I am beginning to announce that we've initiated a counter coup through Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. What has happened in effect when Comey had to open up the case of Hillary Clinton and discuss the emails that were involved with the Anthony Weiner case, it was not the case itself that was as important as the fact that this was the entree for many of us in the counter coup to say to the administration, we have your number. Not only do we have your number, we're going to stop you from making Hillary the president of the United States. And at the same time, we will convict and indict the president of the United States, Loretta Lynch, and many others who were involved in the cover-up of the massive corruption that occurred under the Clinton Foundation. Now, in both cases, their coup was silent, and our counter coup was silent, and it was all transgressed or occurred on the internet. And this is probably the first time in the history of any country where a coup was initiated through the internet and a counter coup was initiated through the internet. I am just a small part of something far bigger than myself. It was the brave men and women who were in the FBI, the CIA, the Director of Intelligence, the military intelligence, and men and women in 15 other intelligence organizations who were sick and tired of seeing this corruption.
So, dude, what he's basically saying here is he's laying out, like you're saying, essentially, the Q plan. And, well, who would these people be that would be behind this, Q operation? Oh, I don't know. Real, good, actually honest patriots that were seeing their country get flushed down the toilet and did not like what they were seeing. And this had been a reoccurring thing, dude. There was a thing, like they call it the alliance, that they've been, a couple times throughout history, they've tried to fight back and do it essentially, and have gotten kind of nailed back down like the hammer, you know what I mean? But this is it, dude. I mean, and he says it right there. I'm just a small piece of this. And what was it? We in the intelligence community did a counter coup. We did it. So he's talking 2017, like he already did it. The coup was done and the counter coup was done already at that point. And so, like, I would ask you or anybody else in the chat that's listening, like, what the hell have we been watching for the last, 7 or 8 years after that?
Well, I think when he says counter coup, it means that they basically made it their intention that was the mission. Once you do a coup, usually you complete it. I don't know the time frame, and
wild.
I think based off of Trump's first speech that that was the beginning. What time frame did it all happen? That's a great question that I'm still kind of wondering myself. Are we just being fed stuff to keep the people at ease so there isn't mass hysteria while everything's kind of quietly already happened in the background?
Yeah, exactly.
Or some of it, not all of it.
Yeah, I love,
like you said, enough to have full control, like you said. Like we always see that Patriots in control coming from them. I'm pretty sure with the Space Force that they completed the mission just with that, being able to surveil and catch everybody in their crimes.
Well, speaking of, since you brought it up really quickly, and don't remember, I got my target where we're going back to that video quick, but Where was that one particular one? Because you had just mentioned it, and I think it was maybe 6 or 7 years old. Oh, and just really quickly, I don't know if that president, the White House video, this one here, I won't have to play it again so we don't get, here we go, the Rick and Morty thing. I don't know if that meant anything here. 934, which would be like 2134. Did you see what that one says?
Say that again?
Buckle up, buttercups. It's about to get bumpy. So 2134, if my math is right.
Yeah,
1200.
and that follows along with a lot of other clues that we're going to go over here because it's. I think we're getting into the indictment phase, and there's people that are noticing outside of just the Anon community and so forth. I think the word's spreading. But what was that you were also showing on that video, which I wanted to point out a couple things.
Oh, yeah. I'll get to those pictures in 1 second. But you
Okay,
had dropped this one, and I think this one was 6 or 7. You want to say it? All right, it was actually 6 days old. But yeah, in case you missed it, Patriots are in control. Oh, okay. Well, that's just, these different, I mean, you got the Department of Education, you got the Department of War, CTO, all sorts of different, the White House themselves out there actually putting out Q posts. So that was fun as well. But yeah, let me pull up those pictures there because I know, to be honest, I didn't actually get those ones lined up, but I know exactly where they are, and we can just kind of skip from one to the next there.
Yeah, because something I keep forgetting to pull up is the definition of alien. We keep talking about it, obviously in a lot of ways we're talking about with immigration, illegal immigrants, but in this video it has Homan arresting an alien. So you kind of wonder, so you kind of wonder, is there any truth to that in the deportation of aliens from our country? And this is a video coming from the White House. It's not like someone else made it that I know of.
Let's see what the other ones were. Oh, and dude, are we going to be getting notification that some of our politicians are actually computers or robots, or, dare I even reference the President Trump True Social post?
Well, this reminded me of the video of the white guy with his eyes going in circles in different directions and his tongue stuck out. And remember that video that went viral?
Probably if I've seen it. If I see it, I would probably know. It's just like a meme of eyes going wild.
No, it's a live footage of him in the background, like glitching out like a robot.
Oh, damn. Was it? I mean, dude, these people are just absolute stiffs. And the funny thing about old Chucky Schumer there is, dude, I had to ultimately came to the conclusion that his wife is a woman. But boy, that was a deep dive there because he looks like quite like the man. Absolutely. But so is that what we're going to be getting with this stuff? And then I didn't know what that meant, dude, either, because it looked like there was 5 or 4 pictures at the top of the missile here. And I can zoom in, but it's just going to be it's a little blurry. So, but it looks like there was 5 pictures there, perhaps, no? Or 4 pictures.
There's 4 astronauts there, and then you got these 2 spaceships. Found that interesting. And then with the Chuck Schumer thing, it could mean a bunch of different stuff. But then I noticed the portals too in the background.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything looks weird.
I think we're leading up to some portal or Stargate information that has been brewing for some time.
Oh yes.
The Artemis and the rocket. I don't know. Is that going to be like to Mars? Is that just symbolizing us going to space?
I don't know. Artemis 2. Was that the most recent one that they did? Was it Artemis 2?
I think that's the largest rocket ever made.
Damn.
Elon.
Best dimension yet. I mean, does that? And then again, I mean, that post itself could be meaning weird things like, do we have a dimension where I'm Mac and Mac is Mike? You know what I mean? Like various, infinite dimensions with slight differences in each.
One does wonder.
How could you ever? Yeah. That's the thing is, I don't understand how they.
It follows quantum mechanics in a way. So. It happens at a microscopic level. So does it happen at a macroscopic? And are we the
Probably, right?
macroscopic? Maybe. I've wondered. I don't know. I don't know. I hope hopefully we get the answer at some point. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, right. I'm having and so you know, I'm saying that half joking, but when we get a post from President Trump on True Social, when he reposts somebody that says, what do you say? There was never a Biden.
Biden was it was a robot or
CGI
whatever.
and masks.
I mean, I think it was a combination of things, CGI, robot, mask. Yeah. So, but Trump just posted a truth. Did you see that with the Biden looking weird on the TV? And
let me see. I think I probably have it.
was it last night?
Oh, okay. No, if it's in the show notes, I got it. If it's not, I don't have it.
It's not. I just put it at the bottom of the chat.
Okay.
Now, if you look at the TV screen and Trump's got a confused look, I wonder if he's got technology for when Biden speaks, they can tell if it was AI or not. And if you notice, like the pictures are blue, and is that
does
what
happen?
it is?
That does happen. I can vouch for weirdness on a TV screen. Like sometimes when I record UFC, I see like it's more pixelated sometimes in certain areas. Like you see those wavy lines or whatever. So it does sometimes come out a little weird. I'm not going to say that that's not. I'm not going to say that that is the original Joe Biden, but I will say that they do give you some weirdness with the.
I think he was scanning the video possibly to see if it was him and how they're doing it. 'Cause I don't know if you can.
I can't stop.
That's funny because Trump's face is like, what's going on here?
Oh, dude, it is just it's tasty, dude. And he's fine. I'm looking right now. He is firing off on True Social, dude. Like,
is he? Dang.
He's going off like crazy right now. Like every 12 minutes.
He just right before the show, it was the New York Times, and yeah, I don't want to get distracted here, but he's been firing them out with the truce last night, the symbolism. Everyone was going crazy with him announcing that he's going to run in 2028 at the dinner. I think he's serious. I think he's dead serious, and it's great.
No, I noticed you had this in here, and then we're going to get back to the 2028 election stuff. So I noticed you had this to cover as well, and I covered it yesterday. I think people didn't catch my dry humor in this, and because I posted this. I said, "You think Trump wants to go drive on some stupid highway in the middle of the desert?" Oh wait, turn the music off. But essentially, at the end of the day, it's well, yeah, of course he would want to because they named a freaking highway after him over in Morocco, dude.
Yeah, but in the video, I don't know if did you stop any of the graphics on this video? This goes hand in hand with Trump is redoing the global trade system. So if you look latitudinally from, say, the east coast of America, and you go right over to Morocco. So he's setting up a port system, and then he's this huge highway that's going to be named after him is going north to south along the coastline. So that's just going to bring tons of industry to the ports. Let's see if we can. How long is this video? Because
it's like 5 minutes. Oh no, it's 4 minutes. We could watch it if you want.
It's up to you. I mean, I don't think it's.
Was it?
I don't know. I don't know how interesting it is.
Well, dude.
And today.
Well, it's narrated, and I'll tell you what. I sent Hulkinator a text the other day. I said, "Am I getting old that I find?" Oh, good.
I got here in the chat some screenshots that show
some interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was watching a documentary on how they built the Panama Canal, and I was finding it very interesting. I'm like, does that make me old?
How they made that's crazy.
It was very cool, and they had a lot of like disease and stuff like that around it, which was one of the main issues. So mistakes to some are roadmaps to others. I see you dropped here. President Donald J. Trump Highway. Oh, the Peace Road for what? Prosperity. So that, to your point, dude, right? Not just making a road, we're making a road that's going somewhere. Viaduct of 1,648 meters.
a lot of the Middle East countries seem to be doing pipelines now and not just relying on the water. So
Hell yeah.
this would be another signal that they're changing and they're reinvesting the money to build a better and newer system and less fraud and wars.
Dude, and you know what? You know what I bet too. I bet you the way that all this stuff was run over there, and I'm not saying like, oh, because they're Middle Easterns, they're stupid or whatever. I think they were so abundant with all the oil and all the money that they've been making throughout the many decades and century by now, but that it wasn't being done to the utmost effectiveness. To your point, where now we're going to use some of these pipelines, right? And then we're going to start using other shipping avenues, and then he's going to open up Alaska area as well. So I think, like you're saying, you're right on point. Whereas he's opening it up, so all of these people who were previously at war with each other for, again, no damn good reason, can now be fruitful, and then everybody's country can get better, right? It seems that way to me, anyway.
Yeah, there's an interesting interview or clip I just ran into, and hopefully I can remember it. Basically, how it seems to work with the elites is it's about these large industries, but the little pieces. Oh, we're coming up on it. He'll talk about it with the snowflake. So good. Here we go. The mountain and the snowflake.
The mountain and the snowflake.
Well, right. Yeah. It's interesting because they're opening up mineral resources. They're opening up trade routes. Look, I mean, that's got to be a beautiful coastline. And then if they can get water to it and maybe add some agriculture, maybe a city or two, start expanding.
Certain countries out there are, and I forget, was it the UAE that did that technological area? Crazy, dude. $1 billion spent, huh? 1,055 kilometers, 5x5. So it looks like this is the route right here, or the part of the section that's named the Donald Trump road or highways right here.
Yeah. And this is how it's going to affect us globally. Now you see how the latitude line on that map is pretty close to the Middle East or the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, because we'd be, let's just say over here, New York, DC would be around here roughly, yeah, just right over. And then you got Africa and South America, Africa over here, but you got Venezuela.
Goes right into the Gulf of America too for oil.
Dude, that's what it's all about. I mean, I think he's showing these countries not only can you be peaceful, but you guys can thrive out here as well. It doesn't have to be everybody's enemies, and just stupid banker wars that we've been dealing with for far, far too long here. We got any more images on this one? Oh,
this is just the actual video itself, but those are the main ones that I found. I don't think there were any others of substance, but I could have missed one.
Very, very cool though. Yeah, dude.
He's given us hints, huge hints. And this video, when we get to it, he posted today, is about 50 minutes long. We'll get to a couple of the huge points, but it is interesting that he would post this, hinting at things to expect. I think he's given us some scenarios. He's not telling us, going to lead us the way, but we can kind of, it's up to us to figure it out. But
now I saw this the other day, and right after we talk about this, we're going to get back to that video. We're going to finally pull it up. But I just really quickly, and I didn't get to verify it myself or whatever, but the post that I read was saying that traditionally when you gild things in gold, basically means you won a war or something along those lines. Taking down the scaffolding around the regilded arts of war sculptures. So he's regilded a lot of these things, a lot of these different statues as well. So I haven't verified that to be true or not, so I can't tell you 100%. But like I said, dude, he's going off every 8 minutes, 2 hours ago, 8 minutes, 25 minutes, 26 minutes, 32 minutes. He's a busy boy today, dude. busy boy.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get into some fun stuff here now. All right, where is it? Ding, ding, ding. So again, can Trump get some stuff done here? Let me get to this one. All right, what timestamp you think I should start with, sir? If I go into this one here.
Okay, let me check my notes here. Let's start with the beginning and just see what it says for first minute or so.
Absolutely. All right, let me unmute this guy here. So again, some folks might have seen this guy, you might not, but interesting stuff.
Brokerage account or even a savings account at your local bank, the next few months could be the most important financial period of your lifetime. Not because of a recession, not because of a market crash, but because of something most Americans have never experienced. A collision of political, legal, and military forces, all converging on a single date, November 3rd, 2026. One man has raised an alarm. The same man who called the 2008 crisis before it hit, who predicted Trump's 2016 victory, and wrote about the COVID crash weeks before the market plunged in March of 2020. His name is Jim Rickards. He's a former advisor to the CIA, the Pentagon, and 4 White House administrations. And today, he's going to show you exactly what's coming and the 3 moves you can make right now to protect your family and your wealth.
All right, so Mac, just really quickly, a caveat I will give folks is at the end of the day, this gentleman is, I think he has something that he's going to try to sell, but that also does not diminish any of the information and experience and contacts that this guy has had. An interesting point, Mac, that he seems to be keying in on 11.3 as well. And he also happened to mention, military and the government and the military all converging on one day as well.
Yes, and it gets very interesting. This whole thing, I recommend anybody just listening to it. I think the whole shtick at the end is pointing towards gold. But I didn't order any of his stuff. He gives you, his whole selling point is he's giving you 3 different ways on these 3 different scenarios and how they might pan out and what to do with your wealth. And they might even be free. I don't know. But like I said, and you were saying, what he says is really interesting.
And doesn't this make sense too? Especially with what he's telling us. Buckle up, buttercups, it's going to get bumpy.
Yeah, and he's going to tell us that August there's going to be indictments starting. 8:40 if you want to skip ahead a little bit. Let's
Ding,
get
ding,
there.
ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Around that area. Right there is fine.
All right.
And right now, this is what I see. Something very strange is happening in Washington. I first became aware of this when I sat down with someone close to Trump's inner circle. I can't reveal this person's name, but I can tell you they have direct access to the president's strategy and to the Department of Justice. And what they told me was stunning. Now, if you voted for Trump or you're skeptical about politics, you know many people are furious. A year into the president's second term, we've seen 0 insiders arrested, not a single member of the deep state or a member of Biden's team. Barely a soul from the infamous Epstein files. If you're like most people, you've probably wondered why. As it turns out, there's a reason, which will boil over into the front pages this summer. Behind the scenes, the White House has been quietly building criminal cases against some of the most powerful people in Washington. Former FBI directors, state attorneys general, election officials, even members of the Biden family's inner circle. And this is key. They've timed every single case to land between now and Election Day. Soon the first indictments will drop. By summer, the trials will begin. When the fall rolls around, convictions will be making headlines. And if you think Wall Street won't react to a string of guilty verdicts hitting the news every week for 6 straight months, think again. I'll show you what happened the last time Washington went to war with itself. But first, I want to unpack Trump's plan. Because like most of his big moves, it's strategically brilliant, but highly chaotic. This might seem random, but do you recall the night Trump announced his final candidacy for president? If not, I'll refresh your memory. The next morning, a strange bit of news emerged, not about Trump's speech or the state of his party. It was about the music he played at the 2024 Republican National Convention, an aria from an Italian opera called Nessun Dorma, which translates to None Shall Sleep.
No kidding.
It's one of the most famous pieces of music ever
It gets
written.
better.
And the climax, the final line, the tenor belts out at the top of his lungs, is a single word repeated 3 times. Vincero, 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 which translates to, I will win. At the time, most people thought it was Trump being Trump. But considering what's about to unfold, I think it was a declaration of war. As you'll see, what the Trump White House has been quietly planning for the past year looks less like politics and more like the script of a Tom Clancy movie. If you've seen The Sum of All Fears, you know what I'm talking about. It's a film about eliminating terrorists and deep state actors. And here's what's eerie about the whole thing. The same song plays at the climax of the film. As these enemies of the state are slaughtered, one by one they fall. And that's what I believe is about to happen in American politics. The White House and the Department of Justice have spent the last year quietly building criminal cases against some of the most powerful people in America. After years of political lawfare, where the left weaponized the legal system against Trump, dragged him through 2 impeachments, 4 indictments, 91 criminal charges, and hundreds of millions in civil penalties, the tables are about to turn. So let me walk you through the target list, because when you see who's about to be charged, you'll understand why I believe this will trigger the most volatile.
So he goes on to talk about, the usual suspects there. Now, Mac, I don't know if you want me to continue with this, but I find it interesting that he's keying on the things that we've seen and we've reported, and that's far from the only "None Shall Sleep" Nessun Dorma speech, Nessun Dorma performance. How many times have we seen that? It's like he's playing it on repeat, like in their faces.
Oh yeah, and he's just showing them he's holding the cards the entire time. That's what I love about it. And he's genius and highly chaotic was a great way of putting what Trump's doing, because it is. It's really genius, but at the same time, it's hard to follow along because he had the chaos part, and
well, and
you got your enemies spinning right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's hitting them and running. He's like doing all these different areas at one, different topics all at once. He'll hit one thing and then the next thing. But this guy lays out that he believes that they were set to all of these prosecutions lay out, from now until the midterms there. So we'll see how that comes out, but it's very interesting to see people that don't follow the stuff that we do come to the same type of conclusions.
There's 2 other clips. Basically, here it's like James Comey, Letitia James, Jack Smith, and there's one other person I believe that he says is going to get arrested. And he shows it on the screen.
All the people that went after him. Tim Walz. Who's the third? Jack Smith. Comey, Letitia James, Jack Smith, Waltz.
Tim Walz.
And Biden and his inner circle.
Which is going to be great. Now, go to the 26-minute mark, and this is where he explains snowflakes in comparison to a mountain. You'll see the analogy, but he's explaining, and I don't know if he does in this clip, so I'll just preface it real quick. He's explaining what the big players do in order to affect entire industries and collapse economies or manipulate them and make out. Mm-hmm. So essentially what Epstein did in one case.
Absolutely. Yeah. And whatever he's doing, he's laying it out and saying, because the way it sounds is like he's also prefacing like a somewhat of a crash, right? Like an economy type of crash. So I think he's also offering like maybe investment advice, because like he's saying, like if you think all of these prosecutions won't have an effect on like the stock market, you could be wrong. I don't know, I don't know how that would affect it, but he makes sense.
Yeah, he does mention, I don't know if he names of companies, he may do it in his pamphlet, but there's certain companies that always profit from this types of situations. And I guess that's one of the templates that he's watched, and you notice patterns. So, money doesn't lie when it comes to this stuff. So if something like this does happen, there's going to be certain industries that are going to get money no matter what.
Invest into these, I guess. All right, let's see what he's got to say here.
You'd have been sitting on roughly $8,600 just 2 years later, a 72% gain, while most people were bracing for the end of the world. And again, after September 11th, if you took $10,000 and split it across Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and General
my goodness.
Dynamics, you know what it'd be worth 20 years later? Roughly $100,000. Now add that up. $10,000 invested in each of those 5 opportunities, that's $50,000 total, and it turned into almost $500,000. From 4 crises, 4 moments when most people froze or panicked or buried their heads in the sand. And here's the thing. Each of those crises involved one major threat: an oil shock, a political scandal, a terrorist attack, a pandemic. One. What we're facing right now isn't one crisis, it's 4 of them, hitting at the same time. An avalanche of criminal prosecutions, street violence in American cities, a shooting war in the Middle East, with oil above $100 a barrel, and a constitutional battle that could keep one man in power until 2033. 4 snowflakes on the most unstable mountain I've seen in 50 years. If just one of these past crises could turn $5,000 into $65,000 or $100,000, what do you think happens when all 4 hit at once? That's why I want to make sure you're armed with my research, because investors who see what's coming and make the right moves could make more money than all these previous political financial crises combined. It's critical you don't get overwhelmed in the months ahead. The news cycle is going to be fast and furious.
Dude, it's gonna be super fast and furious. The only thing I would question, Mac, is historically the same things that we would have countered with, say, all right, we're going to war. Now you have, all these different places in war. Are these still going to be the ones that you would want to invest in, knowing that he would want to get away from that and we're going to try to make peace? Would be the best, way, I'm guessing. And obviously I don't know what exactly is going on, as nobody does, but I don't know. I think that would be a little bit different scenario going forward. And I don't know if he's tailoring what he's saying, but he's absolutely spot on when he says that who makes money all the time? The defense contractors. They load up on it, right? No matter who's winning, who's losing, they're always raking in the dough.
Yeah, and so you did exactly what I would have done. Is you take those companies and then you expound, you zoom out, and what are those companies? What industries do they cover? Intelligence and surveillance and law enforcement, but there's other things at play that also are going on, like reinvestment into our country. And so this election, this midterms, we know how important it is. And the enemy is going to be panicking, I think, is more or less what he's getting at, because we're going to be voting for Trump. I think, a lot of the country's voting for Trump and those people that he supports. And he's got a track record now showing that. So come the midterms, this could be the last and final showdown, because they have nothing to do other than to cheat, to keep control. So if they have every avenue, if they have them surrounded, they're, everything's going to be fast and furious, clean and swift, and he's going to go over here. I think it's a little bit more of the conversation. He explains that people are going to get emotional, and that there are, I think, 13 cities where the National Guard's called up. And what does that remind us of? The Q post, where we were told 12, I think in the first couple Q posts, that 12 cities in the National Guard were called up for this particular reason.
Look it up. It says, look up 12 cities, National Guard, and that they're going to be ready for this election too. Absolutely. Dude, I cannot wait. And so just a little credit there. Julie's Donuts had clipped that video there, and I will get that link for you guys. Mac has the link, and I'll drop it out for you guys.
Thank you. The other little note I have is 4119. It's about the 22nd Amendment.
Ooh. Go 40.
But I highly recommend everybody listen to this. I'm not a financial advisor, but he points out things President Trump truth this out. So there is some important things to pay attention to. I wouldn't say hit the panic button, but understand that there is a transition occurring here in philosophies, old comparatively new, and new being the Trump way.
Yeah. And I'm dropping the link right now, guys, for the X. This one here. I'll drop the other one later, just because this video you can scroll back and forth. The other link is like one of those videos that once you start playing, on my phone anyways, I couldn't scroll back and forth with. So.
I couldn't do it on my computer either. Okay. That's why, I was like, screw that.
That's a pain in my ass. Hell no. All right, so let me just get this over here to the folks over on Pilled as well. Ding.
And thank you, Julie Donuts, as well.
Yes. Does a great job. Absolutely. There you go. So Pilled, all you guys have that as well. Okay, and we're letting this play here. Here we go.
Trump's explosive third term, the 14-word loophole that could keep the president in power until 2033. As I showed you today, the midterm elections aren't just about Congress. They'll determine whether one family stays in power for 7 years. In this report, I'll walk you through the full legal analysis of the 22nd Amendment, the 4 paths to a third term, and which one I believe is most likely. I'll show you exactly why the midterms are the linchpin and what happens to markets, to policy, and to your portfolio under each scenario. If Republicans hold the House, one set of investments will surge. If Democrats take it back, a very different set of moves is required. This report covers both scenarios, so no matter what happens on November 3rd, you'll be ready. Now, all three of these reports are yours free when you join me at Rickard's Strategic Intelligence. This is my flagship research service. It's where I publish my most important investment analysis.
Say 4119?
Yeah, I think he's talking about this 4119. You covered it. Maybe I got the timestamp wrong. Maybe
it's possible. I mean, there's so much stuff in here.
Try 4019. Go back a little bit.
Let's see.
Go a little further.
Let's see.
Don't worry about it. I don't know.
That's all good.
I don't. I muted it.
No, yeah, he's got $1 million in physical gold. I mean, that's smart as hell, dude. I mean,
yeah, he emphasizes gold, and this is, I think he understands how this is going, and he explains it that he thinks that gold could get to be huge. I would unmute this real quick because I think he predicts it to go to like $100,000 or something.
And miners feel that just like everyone else. Call it $1,600 to $1,800 an ounce today. But with gold comfortably above $4,000, they're still earning $2,500 to $2,700 per ounce in profit on every single ounce they pull out of the ground. And when gold hits $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, those margins won't just grow, they'll explode. In this report, I'll give you 3 specific mining companies that are printing money right now and still have massive room to run. And that's not all. When you reply today, you'll also...
All right, you can stop it. But I found that interesting. He thought it would go to $10,000, and it wasn't $100,000. That'd be crazy, though. But to even think that it would go to $10,000...
I could see that, dude. You know, we've shown a few times the pictures of the U.S. Mint where they're selling like a half ounce of silver for like $900 and like a half ounce of gold for, you know, $10,000, I think it was. So, you know, and again, I don't buy the excuse that, oh, well, they cut it into the shape of a bell, so that's what it is. Let me see. All right, I just dropped that one. I think I just dropped that one. And I got a couple of prayer requests in the chat, and I'm so sorry to hear this one. Darling USA one, who has definitely been a long-time listener and supporter, so we sorry to hear this, that her sister had passed away. So prayers out to Darling USA one for her sister passing away. That is, yeah, it's definitely a horrible situation. Sorry to hear that, Darling USA. And this one's not as bad, so we definitely, hopefully it doesn't turn into anything bad. But Texas Tan Girl also is asking prayers for her brother who had a fall on his right hand. So prayers for him as well. Now, people might say, oh, a fall. Remember, Hulkinator had a, quote, fall on his arm and turned it into a bunch of different toothpicks. So, yes, a fall could definitely be a big thing. So Texas Tan Girl's brother... and Darling USA's passed away sister. So yes, definitely keep you guys in my prayers. I do appreciate the heads up there, guys. Obviously, never good to lose anybody, but prayers are with you guys out there for sure. Let's see. So do you want to hit a few more? Do we have a few more things here on 2028? I think that's.
I believe all I have on that video. But I'm still standing firm that it's his first term. The end of his first term's coming up.
Cool. Let's hit Tucker for a second, really quick. We'll do a couple clips on Tucker. Let's do this one first, and then we'll show the other one. I'm wondering why he wouldn't want to do it, and he says it in the video, but you guys will know what we're talking about in a little bit. Should cheer the exit of sad Tucker. So they're basically saying here in the USA Today or whatever that we should cheer for him. And again, I don't know what the deal is with him, dude. Do you think he's like a paid dude? Do you think he's trying to wake up our side? So you think definitely paid off bad dude?
Well, he's got dad was in the CIA, so we know he's got intelligence
I
connections.
mean, you
I
gotta
just
be
don't.
bad, right?
No, well, just following his track record. I mean, he was friends with, or probably still is with Hunter Biden. He went
Ah.
to Comet Ping Pong. Remember, he was a VIP there. So that, though it's a conspiracy theory, there is some validity to that. But Tucker's showing his true colors nowadays. He's not for Trump, so that's all I really got to say nowadays. He thinks. I think someone called him. I forget Is this the one?
This
Oh
one's
yeah.
wild, dude.
Tucker is on the blame game of the Jews. He's on that tirade, and people are, I think, getting tired of it, and he's just throwing out stuff. It doesn't really have necessarily valid points, even though they could be there in
Right.
some way, shape. You know what I mean? It's just like he's a complainer. There you go. He's
It's
just the
just,
best.
it's the Jews. It's the Jew. It's like, oh God, dude. Like, again, you're talking deep state nonsense, right? Deep state in every damn country. So, yeah. But dude, this is pretty crazy, dude. What this guy's talking about. I'm by the looks of it, I'll probably have to cut it from the YouTube. But remember, if you guys want fulsome shows, over to pilled.net and rumble.com. Listen to a little bit of this guy here. This is wild what he says. Yeah, right? It's absolutely
People
wild.
laughed at him. I didn't, because
So what did he not laugh at?
when Tucker came out and told the world that he had been attacked by demons, people laughed at him. I didn't, because
I didn't either.
he had told me about it right after it happened. And this was like a year or so before he told the world. He texted me because he knew I was a serious Christian, being Orthodox. I do have a demonology.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, that if this really happened to you, you need to talk to an exorcist. And I connected him with an exorcist I know. And the exorcist also brought in a second exorcist to work with him. But Tucker decided he didn't want to do that. He said, I'm too Protestant for that. This seems like witchcraft to me. That's his actual word. I went back, I still have the text saved. I went back to read them recently. Tucker said, exorcism seems like witchcraft. I'm like, wait, you think you were attacked by a demon, but a Catholic or an Orthodox exorcist coming is witchcraft. Anyway, so he refused that sort of help. He told me it'd be fine, just him and the Bible. I even offered to get a Protestant deliverance pastor for him. That wasn't good enough for him. Well, he gets fired from Fox a couple of months later in the Dominion settlement. And then that fall, he launches his own network and goes really dark really fast with that Daryl Cooper, who says Churchill is a real villain in World War II. And you've seen as well as I have, it got darker and darker and darker. And then he gets Fuentes on. And that's when I finally felt like I had to speak out and say something. I just said, this was a big mistake. It's something I wrote. And you shouldn't do this. We ought to keep the firewall there. And Tucker texted me, ending our friendship. That's that. Well, but I've thought about that demonic attack, which I believe was real since then. In November, after he had broke with me and all that, I was sitting in Budapest on my couch, trying to put off going to bed. I looked at YouTube. The algorithm served up a clip from a recent Tucker broadcast in which Tucker's sitting in his main studio talking with a guy who looks like a hunter, a local hunter. And Tucker starts off talking about the things that are the spooky things in the woods behind his house in Maine. And he goes on to say that when I go back there hunting, I feel evil spirits in a certain part of the place. He said, local people have told me, yeah, don't go back there. That's bad news. Tucker says on the clip, you can find it on YouTube. He says, I even found a 1929 Field and Stream magazine article talking about the spooky haunted woods. But said Tucker, the hunting is great back there, so I go. I immediately thought of a film I had seen called The Witch, a 2015 film by the director Robert Eggers. I don't like horror movies, but Eggers is a really great director, and I wanted to see this movie. It was his first big hit. It's set in New England in the 1630s. It opens with a proud man going before the Puritans who run his town, and they're telling him, the town council or whatever, the board of elders says, you have to repent of this heresy. He won't repent. So he and his family get exiled to the edge of a forest. In the film, inside the forest lives a witch with demonic powers. And over the course of the movie, that physical proximity to spiritual evil that is located in a place works on the pride of the protagonist to destroy him and his family. I have a theory that something like that might have happened to Tucker. It might be happening to Tucker. I hope I'm wrong about that, but I do believe absolutely in spiritual warfare. And the exorcists I've talked to who know about his case are incredibly worried about him. They say he's in deep, deep danger.
That's pretty wild, dude. And I was asking the folks in the chat, and actually really quick, Mac, before I do that, Vanessa Brooks in the chat says, we also need prayers here in West Virginia. We have catastrophic flooding in Weston and Buckhannon. Says, I'm going to be cleaning up damage for a long time, hoping for help from FEMA. Damn. So more flooding here. Now we got more flooding in West Virginia area as well. So prayers out to you as well, Vanessa. I have that comment pinned up on the chat there. And Mac, I was asking the folks, so while you give your comment or response, I'm going to read over and I'll pull up any comments that I can read about it. But I was asking, like, all right, question for Christians. If you knew you were possessed or thought you were seriously attacked by, demonically attacked, would you seek a exorcism or not? And so apparently this guy said that Tucker thought it was kind of, new agey or something like that, or didn't want to, or it was, whatever, didn't want to do it. But, I mean, dude, wouldn't you want to get a demon out of you somehow? I mean...
Yeah, I think there's a lot more to Tucker than meets the eye here.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I don't know. Well, someone gives him help and he doesn't want the help. I don't know. He's talked about aliens, that whole subject, and he says there are angels and demons. Like, he has a very simplistic viewpoint of it. So he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want anything to do with it. That's somebody deflecting. He's not curious like he is with the other stuff. And then he automatically assumes they're demons. So I just feel like there's a play here by Tucker. I can't put my finger on it, but
I got a decent comment that might answer that.
There's more to him. Yeah, go ahead. Love to hear what the audience has to say too.
Yeah, I got to go back and find this one. Basically talking about, how Tucker might be here. There we go. Did I find it? So basically it was saying that, maybe he's trying to get people over to the right or conservative side to then have all of the conservatives be labeled as anti-Semitic. That's very, very plausible, and I will definitely give you the credit for that good comment once I find out who wrote that. Right here. That was
what comes to mind is it Bilderberg Society or whatever? He reminds me of that. He's a trust fund baby. He doesn't need to work. He doesn't want to get into politics, is that what he says up to this point. And he started, I think, on MSNBC, and then he moved over to Fox, and he said he was a conservative, but he's always been that conservative guy. People like him. So we kind of know that Operation Mockingbird either became something else or never stopped. So we know that they've infiltrated both sides. Fox News is owned by the Murdoch family, who aren't even American. They're from Australia. Tucker Carlson was still getting paid by Fox News even after he left his show. And so you wonder who he's still getting paid by. Is he also getting paid by the Murdoch family still? Is he getting paid by Qatar, as some people rumored? I don't know. But Qatar is, remember that big laundering fund country for the CIA. They took that Operation Cyclone framework and they just replicated it in other places, and Qatar is one of those places. So it's possible the deep state could be as well. The bad guys on the CIA.
Qatar and laundering. So this is why I like the advanced search on Twitter. You can basically just put in Qatar and laundering and look for all the different posts on it. Hey, the debriefing guy from the couch, my state neighbor in Connecticut. Breaking FBI, this is as of December of 25. Kash Patel is in Qatar, where he just signed 2 memorandums of understanding with Qatar's Ministry of Interior to expand joint training. It says basically something massive is happening. The mainstream will never tell you what it means. If you go back to Trump's victory and follow the signatures, you get a map of a world quietly switching hands. So yeah, very interesting stuff. But yeah, Qatar has been historically a huge funder of a lot of different politicians in the United States. And then funny, like President Trump gets the new Air Force One from them as well. I thought that was cute.
Well, we got a very big military base there. That's how the CIA is able to function there so easily. So it's got a big airfield. A lot of countries, I believe, use it. So yeah, let your mind race there or go down a rabbit hole.
Edit, EDDET1 says kayfabe. You know, maybe again, Tucker may be playing a role. Lanny Lou 4 says overbuilt automotive. Tucker, old guard, MK Ultra something who I do not care about. Another smiling jackass. Yeah, right. Hey, dude, you always go up and ask your neighbors who you're not, terribly close to. Could you write me a admittance letter to get my son into Georgetown? I don't get the feeling that you do that with somebody that, maybe you went over their house once or twice and can I borrow some sugar? Well, we know what that means. Can I borrow some sugar? I mean, you got to be a little closer than just, some neighbor that I don't really know that well, right? To ask him to write a note to get your kid into college, for sure. In reality, Trump hasn't served 2 consecutive terms yet. I think the law is way it's written out is the president can serve cannot be elected to more than 2 elections and then serve 2 years of another. So that's, keeping it even in here, dude, even if we go down the line in succession, like say if he's vice president to Vance and then Vance steps down, or the other one going into the Speaker of the House and then the president and vice president step down. To your point, I think that muddies the process, and then, the other side will obviously take advantage of it as well, so.
And that type, even though it's creative, that strategy will get our country in more trouble, I think.
I agree.
And the enemy will abuse that later down the line. So we have to do it by the law, by the book. And I think they're doing it right now to the T. I mean, we're getting walked through some crazy stuff here, but it's been a slow process. We always wondered why. It's very complex.
Lots of pushback. That's why. Lots of pushback.
Yeah.
Pi Squared says,
and bad actors too.
Yeah, lots of bad actors. And as much as, even if you had total complete control, you can never control every individual that's out there. You can always have these rogue people,
Hey, shout out to acting director, the DNI. Pulte just killing it right now. He's cleaning out all the bad apples, all the obstructionists. So you kind of can see what Tulsi Gabbard was there. She was trying to get things done, but she was probably obstructed. And now that you have an acting director coming in, and as the Q post pointed out, he's like a bull in a china shop. He's going to mix things up. And there's, they actually kind of have more power than a sitting DNI director. And he just started firing out stuff last night and
hitting and running.
It's very interesting. We'll take it here, and if we don't get into it, I'll bring it up because it's huge to notice.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think I have. I got that next link too. You're talking about, but
really quick, he was it Dilly, Brendan, the Dilly show and the meme team. He reposted a picture of, I think it's Brendan Dilly and Miguel Fornia, together. So that was pretty cool. Shout out to the Anons, and those guys are, part of the Anon crew way back in the day, aren't they? Miguel in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Not Miguel, but Dilly maybe. I know that they've been around for a while, but I know the meme team, and they've been around for a long time doing things that we've all seen out there go viral and stuff. So I think that's a pretty cool shout out to the Anons, that they basically started from nothing.
Yeah, absolutely too.
I could be wrong though. Who knows? But
no.
they got to meet Trump last week or 2 weeks ago. They're in the mix. It's pretty cool.
That's sweet. I'd like to go meet President Trump. I just want one of his pens. But Pulte out here. Wait. What the fuck, dude? May of 26, President Trump created the Government Transparency Task Force. So remember, guys, when they tell you that all of these different places that are not getting funding, right? Because the typical jerk-offs out there, like my ex-coworker there, right? Oh, well, he's just ruining things, and he's taking away people's money and taking away their funding. He says, I thought socialism doesn't work. And so he's trying to pull out certain countries that will. But like essentially at the end of the day, the states that are being threatened with not being funding are not giving up information on SNAP, on voter rolls, on all sorts of things, right? So at the end of the day, why not give the information back? I mean, it's just such a stupid, simple answer, obviously, right? It's like, because we know that they have fraud going through their freaking noses. Like, absolutely. But, dude, did you happen to notice the last state on that list?
Rhode Island, one of my states state's in there. And I've known a long time. They didn't, I don't know how many elections ago, but I'm like, you go in to the place, you show your ID, and they're like, you can't show your ID. I was just like, I think we talked about it an episode or two ago. It's crazy. But, justice is coming.
Yeah,
the Trump administration is trying to combat this. They're urging the Supreme Court to allow order targeting mail-in voting before midterms. So they asked them today to clear the way for executive order from President Trump that could dramatically change mail-in voting ahead of November's midterm elections. The Justice Department asked the justices to halt for now lower court decisions blocking work to implement the sweeping changes in nearly half the country. So it goes on. So see what happens.
And he stays busy as a beaver. We got.
So these are basically, I think, all these people getting laid off are roadblocks. A lot of them.
Absolutely, every last one of them. Yeah, every last one of these pieces of crap. National Intelligence completes fourth round of layoffs since Pulte taking office. So yeah, he's firing on all cylinders. Another round of layoffs marked the fourth round since Pulte took office on June 19th. You got a month and 8 days? Since becoming acting director of national intelligence, our team has been smartly and carefully reducing the size of ODNI, Office of Director of National Intelligence, refocusing ODNI on national security, the law, and the statute. As of this evening, we just finished a fourth round of thoughtful, measured layoffs. Dude, I love that, right? He says he had laid off 500 people. Shortly after he took over for Tulsi Gabbard, he executed a round of layoffs within the ODNI. Gabbard said she had laid off 500 people, or approximately 30% of the agency's workforce. Ooh, no, I'm not unlocking the rest. But so dude, she laid off 500 people, or approximately 30% of the agency's workforce. And then since then, he's gone through 4 rounds of laying off more people. So I'm sure they have something in there, like some way to figure out the way that they're resisting, because I think they said, like, essentially they're slow walking some of this stuff, and they figured out, who are the people that are resisting and who are the people that are slow walking it. I'm
exactly cleaning house, and we've gotten those comms cleaning house.
Oh, clean house is good, and
it's in the military and within the intelligence community. Yeah, and then Pulte, I don't know if you want to go to his page. He was putting out great screenshots.
Let me see, Bill Pulte,
and then one of them talks about the 2020 election, and there's some redactions, but it says China tried a method of, it was like cyber, and it blacked out one of the methods, but it mentions later, and it's in the document, COVID. So I wonder if it had to do with COVID timing in the election of 2020 in there. Here, I can find it.
Yeah, it's got to be the Department of Federal Housing, right?
No, it's his actual account.
Oh, it's the Pulte one? So what am I looking
Yeah.
for here exactly? 4th round of layoffs right here, complete.
I got it right here. I think it's in the chat.
Love it, dude. I mean, dude, they need to go in there and get rid of these folks. Remember years ago, people were saying like, oh, Trump had to go to court because he wanted to be able to fire the resistors. And essentially, at the end of the day, those are the people that he couldn't fire, you know, the SES, Senior Executive Service. All right. So I've got this up on the screen. Summary ahead of the 2020 presidential elections. Let me get my keyword here. Ready? What country? China. What country? China. Had extensive plans to utilize potential something and cyber operations to sway public opinion against Trump administration. I wonder what that is. Physical plans? Physical and cyber? Or election and cyber? I don't know. They probably would have left election in there. To sway public opinion against the Trump administration and international opinion against the U.S. government. The China plans were designed to exploit U.S. societal fissures and vulnerabilities to influence U.S. and other audiences and, by extension, U.S. government decision-making. The plans addressed several scenarios, including military conflict between the U.S. and China, as well as potential crises. The something operations themes covered a broad range of topics to exploit what China perceived to be U.S. fissures and vulnerabilities, or perceived or real, including economic recession, encouraging violent demonstrations and looting to increase the appearance of social unrest, intensifying Americans' disapproval of the United States of America, of the President of the United States, calling into question his ability to govern, and overall undermining the legitimacy and public support of the President of the United States. Ineffective USG COVID-19 response, increasing public dissatisfaction with the President of the United States by questioning his fitness to govern and undermining public support for his actions. China had developed capabilities to project themes on these topics into social media, which would be TikTok, Facebook, you know, the rest, as well as mainstream media through a variety of overt and hidden influencers and media contributors. One of the options included gathering information on senior U.S. government officials to influence public opinion of those officials. And, let me get this a little bit bigger here if I can.
That's the end of it.
Okay, that is it there.
But if you click the link and back out, it might give you to the thread of all the screenshots.
Okay.
Go up.
Oh, right, this one here. Ding.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you go to his page and back out. Does that take it to him? I don't know.
Like 26. So yeah, it's just it's a couple weeks ago. So
here, I got the other.
Oh, you got so many of them right here, dude. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a lot. And then the Russia, the one, the graph with the purple, that shows Iran, China, and Russia. Well, so is that?
And I see National Intelligence Council. This say efforts by selected countries to manipulate U.S. political landscape. The graphic describes efforts by selected countries to attempt to manipulate aspects of the U.S. political landscape over at least the past 4 years, and is not intended as a comparison of the scope, scale, or level of effort of each country's influence. For example, the scope and scale of China's current influence activity at the state and local far outpaces Russia and Turkey's, and Russia has leaked intelligence-acquired information more often than Iran. Public opinion, overt, covert, national leaders and policies, state or local policy leaders, leaking intelligence-acquired information, election processes, legal processes, economic leverage, punitive measures. So they're saying essentially, so you got to remember too, declassified by President Trump on the 3rd of July, 2026. And this is kind of right in line with what we've heard about previous reporting, right? Remember how the intelligence communities wouldn't say anything bad about China, right? We got 3 missing holes here. So they didn't leak any intelligence acquired. They didn't mess with our election processes. They didn't mess with any legal processes. Really?
I think it's, like you're saying, this is to highlight the cover up of information that our elections and political process is being interfered on. Like you said, they denied it. It was always just Russia, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's Russia, Russia, Russia. Oh, dude, this is so funny. And yeah, dude, I'm not even gonna bring that onto the show. My typical leftist buddy sending me stupidity stuff. But dude, I'm loving that this dude is in here, and he's a bulldog, and I think we're gonna continue to get more and more good information out of him, but also more resistors gonna be kicked out going down the line here. I mean, we could look, dude, look at this. Why even put this thing in here? The whole thing's redacted. The whole damn thing. All right, we'll go back to you, Mr. Pulte. But good people in the positions. And I mean, dude, how many acting roles does he have versus almost everybody, right? It seems. It's like more acting than anything. Okay, got there. Air condition. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, I'd hit that follow if I were you on your Twitter.
Okay, I'll give him a follow.
He fired out some last night, and he's been an Anon supporter, I think, in the past.
Yep. I did have this, but they're just talking about it again. They're talking about firing dozens.
Are part of an effort ushered in by the new acting director of national intelligence, Bill Pulte. An intelligence official who spoke on condition of anonymity due to the potential for reprisal told MS Now these officials are being dismissed because leadership believes that they have withheld intelligence. That allegation, one former official refers to as, quote, absurd. It comes as former special counsel Jack Smith. They are now out of a...
Comes just as Jack Smith's in hot water too. It's gotta get even juicier like that. Piece of
check the chat real quick because Pulte posted this little picture or meme.
The meme, the Pulte meme.
You're like, how close is he to Trump?
After the speech. Ooh, I'd say pretty close, huh? After the speech. What was that? Very cool though. But yeah, he's remember, why did he say he put in Pulte there? Because he trusts him, right? He's a dude that's actually doing what President Trump wants, and it's not a question of whether this guy is a turncoat or not. So he put he tasked him to do one thing, and then he just kind of like Marco, right? Tasked him to do certain things and figures out that he can trust him to do the things that he wants. Dude, this one's gonna get funny here. So there's a two-parter to this one here. This is going all the way back to today at 11 a.m. It says the oversight. This is Jeffrey Clark, U.S. Oversight Project, former acting OIRA administration, Office of Management Budget. Oversight Project is going to get the Biden tapes imminently. The injunction pending appeal by the D.C. Circuit has been dissolved. Stand by. Get ready. And I'm like, well, wait. Why will we get all right, is that why we're going to get them?
Is that for the book?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's basically secret Biden tapes from bombshell classified document probe on the brink of release after court crushes his frantic bid. Didn't we get, and I know I covered this, I think, 3 or 4 days ago or something like that, but they were reporting it as if, Biden's team says, yeah, you know what, don't worry about it, we'll give it to you now. Like, wait, what? Oh, right here. Here we go. Back down and abandon his suit blocking the damning whistleblower ghostwriter tapes from being released as they implicate him in mishandling classified information. But dude, how many pauses are going to be in there? Like, what did they not want us to hear? I mean, besides the fact we've already heard, like, what was going on in 2017 and 18? My son was dying, and it's like, your son died 2 years before that, buddy. It's like, what? So we heard that part of it, we heard all that stuff. And I don't want to rehash too much news, dude, but I do want to get your comment on this one, as this was not part of our 400 links I had for today's show. But what did you make of the Fauci diaries that are coming out, dude?
He's such a narcissist. He loved the fame. God,
like they actually did what I wanted. Couldn't believe it.
In 2 days is his testimony, and he is caught in a hard place, right? Because if he doesn't tell the truth and he's caught in a lie, his pardon is gone. Yeah.
Ooh, that's my day off too.
Graham Paul, I think, posted 2 days today. posted a meme. Check it out. Click on his page. It should be right there. It's kind of a funny.
Dude, that is
troll.
That is just horrible, dude, because it seems like all these great things happen on my friggin' off days, bro. See you in 2 days. Oh, dude. The good doctor, Anthony Fauci. Well, with all due respect, Senator, you don't know what you're talking about. He's finally going to get his comeuppance.
The science says.
You don't trust the science. I mean, but just, anything you want to make a comment on that? I mean, obviously, we can go on, but essentially, I just want to. Your comments was what a narcissist. Boy, what a narcissist! But I mean, dude, he didn't shut anything down. And he's tracking
the deaths too. Like, I don't know. I can't wait for this guy to rot. So
right, and well, good. Finish your thought.
No, he enjoyed the deaths of many, and he documented it in his diary. So here we go. And he won't be able to walk down the street, kind of guy.
Oh, dude, he's, in my opinion, is going to be one of the worst. Going to be one of the worst that cannot walk down the street. You know what I mean? Because of what he did. But the one particular part that I found gleaming on there was Larry Kudlow was talking about. I was asking Fauci about the economy, essentially, right? And then he said, this is after Fauci found out that allegedly people that were asymptomatic were spreading. So he was basically saying on there, like, oh, he was asking me about this, that, and the other. And it's like, so he told him, like, no big deal or whatever. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, you knew that people were going to start, spreading whatever this is asymptomatically, and it was going to get worse. So he's just, at the end of the day, a complete piece of crap. They followed that, what was it, the AIDS model or something like that? With the way they laid out the whole deal, bro. It's just absolutely disgusting at the end of the day. What this guy got away with.
They put a strand of HIV in the Moderna vax. I've got a video, I think, on it.
Not good for you? That doesn't do it for you normally? Oh my God. But yeah, dude, it's so much stuff. And then again, the lockdowns, the hydroxychloroquine, and don't take this, the poison. It's you're gonna get killed if you take this, and it's like, what? Remember?
There's a clip.
Let me see. Remember what Moderna put in their vaccine? Here we go. We got Tori says clip here.
Holds it together, and it allows it to stay 100% in that structure that's present on the surface of the virus.
The shape of the coronavirus spike protein before the virus meets our cells is what triggers the most protective antibody response. So Keith must make the spike protein in the lab, locking it into exactly the same shape by adding another protein that acts a bit like a clamp. And that protein is a tiny fragment of HIV.
That holds it together.
I'm sorry. That's what?
Of HIV.
I mean, it makes sense, dude. Why wouldn't you need HIV, fragments inside of a vaccine for coronavirus? Like, what
I can't think of any side effects after that.
I can't think of anybody's immune system getting trampled after that. And again, right? Like, that's what the whole thing was. Nobody died of AIDS, right? People died of, I think, mostly pneumonia, right? When they had AIDS, most people died of pneumonia because your immune system was shot to crap. Absolutely. So, yeah, he needs to get his comeuppance, and I'm so glad you reminded me because I totally lost track of when that speech is going to be or that testimony is going to be. Is that going to be public? I wonder.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I hope. I mean, I don't know definitely, but it sounds like it's going to be.
Oh, God, I cannot wait.
I don't see why they wouldn't for us people.
I wonder if he's going to do it both, you know what I mean? Publicly and before and after. Let's see. Fauci set to testify as Senate panel zeroes in on newly. I mean, dude, might even be smarter just to to not show up because and I don't know what is the current status of his is his pardon officially current and active? You know what I mean? Because like you said before, he's got to tell the truth.
I don't believe that they're legal, but again, and Trump said they're not. But again, if Trump says it, doesn't mean that necessarily courts follow that. So
yeah,
even though he's right.
Yeah, like I wonder at the end of the day, if he goes in there and starts, lying through his teeth left and right, can he be held to account on that or not? And then they can go, well, you guys said essentially that, you were saying that the pardon wasn't, so I could say whatever I wanted, or I could lie essentially. But then he'd have to admit to a lie as well. So I don't know. So yeah.
Well, it has something to do with the fact that he has to tell the truth because he was pardoned, so nothing's going to happen. And if he lies about it, then that pardon is null and void, I believe, or he gets charged up on new crimes. I'm not a lawyer, but it's one of the two.
Yeah, one way or the other, dude needs to go down.
Something bad happens legally if he lies.
Yeah, I mean, you would think anyway.
We can type it into AI real quick. I'll be right there and tell you.
Make sure you cross-reference it for sure. I'm thanking somebody over here. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat over there on YouTube. Ryan Osiris says, Mike and crew, I sincerely appreciate everything you have put out over the years, but damn, it's getting weird. He says, Juan has showed his face. Can we at least call him Wayne07? I'm tired, boss. Don't get tired now, bro. The time you're waiting for is coming, and like we're in the midst of basking in the glory of this. Right?
I got an answer.
Anyway. You do? What do you got?
He can be prosecuted for perjury because President Biden's pardon only covers offenses committed before January 20th, 2025, does not extend to new crimes like false testimony given during the 2026 hearing. So he loses Fifth Amendment protection, and he would be charged with potential kinds of lying, include indictment and jail time.
Hell yeah.
We want him to hang.
I'm putting a comment into the YouTube chat. Here you go, buddy. And that one's for you. And I'm going to pop it up on the chat for you here really quick. For the folks out there that, say you have battle fatigue or whatever, just remember this was just within the last month, guys. Like right there. So either everybody inside the administration is tacking on about this, or there's nothing going on. I can't seem to make my mind up. Yes, I can. But yeah, don't be tired, bro. Don't be tired. Let's see. We do have. I labeled this one. Let me see. Is this? Wait, this is yes. All right. Wait. I'm like, yeah. Good thing, dude. Wait. All right, I was looking at yesterday's notes. I'm like, wait, no, I'm not going to be pulling this one here. Okay, here we go. Now, this again, dude, is something that I've covered in the last couple of weeks. I know that you had dropped it, but I just wanted to touch on it quick. 75,000 non-citizens are called for jury duty every year in New Jersey alone. This comes on the heels of the governor admitting that they had many people on the voter rolls that shouldn't have been, illegals as well. So many, many different ones as well. I'm just kind of going down the list here.
Yeah, we got a few of them, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We got Alaska. Do you see the Alaska governor got You have that on the list? The
I
former governor?
don't think so. I don't think so.
I think Pennsylvania is also doing some of their voter rolls. Do you have that there?
Pennsylvania. Let me see.
Is it Alaska?
Fauci was giddy over mayors shutting down schools. Imagine him giggling and kicking his feet while writing this ruining millions of children's lives. When I left the White House and crossed Pennsylvania and 17th Street, several cars honked their horns and shouted "thank you" out the window. Made me feel like a hero. Says, I spoke with Bill de Blasio, mayor, and convinced him, based on what I was saying publicly in my conversation tonight and close to the New York City schools, that he had already decided based on what I was saying on TV. So it's like, yeah, I had a similar call, and they ate up every bit of the crap that I was laying out. So yeah, he was definitely giddy, and apparently he's going to testify. And dude, you ready for the clone part of the show?
Mitch McConnell?
No, the video of Obama. That's a good one. You remember this dude?
He's a comedian.
Paul Mooney, dude.
Yeah, he was on the Chappelle Show. He was Negrodamus.
Yeah, he's one of the very great, well-known comedian, and he was one of the
Correct.
writers on Chappelle Show for a while. But yeah, he did Negrodamus. It was so funny.
Yeah, that's how I knew him, and then I never really encountered him before that I remember. And then apparently, he's got a great reputation. But yeah, this is crazy.
I'm thinking about one of the things when he was doing Paul Mooney on movies, right? And they were asking him like, "Oh, what do you think about this movie? What do you think about that movie?" And then they said, "The Last Samurai," and he's like, "The Last Samurai." He's The Last Samurai starring Tom Cruise. He goes, I got a movie. You want to make this with me? He says, "It's The Last N-Word on Earth starring Tom Hanks. Anybody want to make that movie?" I'm like, he was funny, dude. Very, very funny. But what was he saying here? And I'd never seen him say this, to be honest with you, dude. And you're not going to hear him until Mike unmutes the site. Here we go.
But he looks better, you understand?
I understand.
And you have to realize that there's more than one Obama.
Okay.
They're clones.
All right. Well, it would take a lot to do a lot of that.
No, and you think I'm kidding you. I'm serious.
Okay.
You when you see the clone can sing and dance.
So in love with you.
Yeah. The real
Obama.
He can't sing, or he can't dance. No, it's true. And whenever you see his wife with the clone, she is like on a bad date. She's very standoff. Her inner kids.
She doesn't like him.
But the real Obama, they're always hugging him and close to him, kissing him. You think I'm kidding? Watch them, okay? Even the little dog, the real Obama, the little dog's all up in their face. But the
I
clone,
should not be laughing at our
the
president.
clone, the little dog is barking at the clone all the time. But he looks better.
Dude, so she's taking him like he's kidding the whole damn time. And that's funny, dude.
And the weird connection is, remember, Chappelle came back from his Africa trip, and people were saying that he was different. And he worked directly on the Chappelle Show, so.
He looked jacked all of a sudden. He was
scrawny.
steroids
and frail. Can do that. Yeah.
Well, definitely can. Well, dude, you had some memes you put aside, and I'm on my phone. I'm on my file of pictures here. Donald Trump 2028. There's ways we can get around it, right?
I don't think we'll be able to get away with this loophole.
I don't know. Dude, make
you never
masks,
know these times.
the masks and stuff. And I think you had picked out the time on this one. I didn't even notice this, to be honest with you, but just because I kind of settled with just the post itself. And again, for those of you out there who may be getting tiresome, real Donald Trump post, he's literally posting out himself now, pictures and memes, panic in DC. I thought that was cute, bro, huh? 4:52 p.m.
Here's a little thing. 4:52 is the go post on Q.
Come on.
And then that night, Pulte declassed. I don't know the time differential. We can probably look up to see if there's anything in between that, but additional comms. But I felt that was interesting and worth pointing out.
The Go code again. We've seen that a lot in the last couple of months too. And then, not to be outdone by panic in DC. Do you trust the plan?
Another QCOM.
Oh, plan trusted. That's interesting. And 453. I think I did look up that one, and I don't think it really went anywhere. I think it was. I don't remember exactly which one. 453. Was that one or that one? Let me see. Side by side 22. Search crumbs. Who is number 2? No deals. McCabe. Graphics. I just went quick on that one, so didn't have anything on that one. But we had another couple of interesting images. This one, dude. I don't know. What were your thoughts on this when you saw President Kennedy and?
Well, they keep mentioning or hinting at time travel. So. I mean, this is obvious AI. I mean, that doesn't even look like JFK. It looks like really.
Right.
And Trump would have been a lot younger too.
Trump and Washington, a time travel epic. Huh. Like to your point, time travel again, I see, huh? Very interesting.
And if you go up, did I post the? Do you have the Q plus that it looks like there's a Q?
You said you think you saw like a Q plus on here or a thing in there?
I mean, it looked like you could pick one out. Q was around the clock, and then the cloud right there. I have a graphic that I pointed it out. I don't know if it's in the screenshots you have.
This is off too, dude, right? I mean, this is supposed to be a V, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And Anon made this meme.
Oh,
I saw that on Twitter, but yeah, it looks a little off for 4.
Yeah, it looks like more like an L because of the V. If it was being right, should kind of go this way. You know what I mean? It's not centered for what it should be there, anyways. But what do we got? Trump in Washington, and then this. Did he actually post this one out? Let me see.
No,
this is just a meme. If we're gonna,
it's just a meme. Because all I've seen is promotion of WNBA girls. Angel Reese is just getting torn up. It's actually hilarious, but who watches the WNBA really? One, I know what's her face, Caitlin Clark's good, but if you look,
good.
They don't have enough viewership to really be floating. They're owned mainly by the NBA, and it's kind of like a side business. It's really strange. I was looking it up today, but. They need a gender reveal. Like, we really need a cup check, a DNA test of some sort, because we know Brittany Griner's a man. We've covered it on the show. We've got the video. The tattoos match up identically to a guy shooting a basketball by the pool with his shirt off. I kind of wonder what the Russian prisons were like if she was thrown in with the men or thrown in with the women.
Oh, dude, yeah, and so here's the thing, right? If I was to put a video, or if I was to put a video or a picture of Brittany Griner, let's just say for this argument for a second that yes, it's a woman, okay, she's a woman, really a woman. That's not the biceps of a man, I swear. And she's like what 6'11" or something crazy tall. But if I was to put a picture of her nude on YouTube, you'd think that would be an issue? If I would probably get a strike or something like that, you would think, right? Because, you don't want to have nudity or whatever. I mean, that's a dude right here, but so here we go. Right? That's a woman, right? But yet there's videos of her right here. This is on YouTube, excuse me. And this video I'd played many times on YouTube here, no problem. And that's a dude's boob. I'm sorry, bro. Like, there's nothing womanly about that in any way, shape, or literally form.
Correct.
And then the voice too. It's like, yeah, what's up, man? It's like, come on. So yeah, they definitely need some gender reveals. But hey, we can go back with this one, dude. Last image I have.
It was like my X feed is just getting fed this crap, and I'm like, stop, like enough.
Well,
It's
think
just
about it, dude.
WNBA. Like, but they're doing like the promotion of, was it Sophie? And then they got
Cunningham,
all
yeah.
the just
Dude,
it's
did she was in UFC?
yeah, I saw
Sophie Cunningham. She did a. Is that her last name? Sophie. What is it? Cunningham.
Cunningham, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she did. She did the UFC. What do you call it? The UFC ring girl. I thought that was cute. And she did. I don't know, 1 or 2 rounds or whatever. But so here's the real short and the short and curlies about this one, right? So think about it. Who the best player in the league is Caitlin Clark, happens to be a white girl, right? And so this would be like the equivalent of going back in time and, oh, who do we got? This new player here, this Michael Jordan guy. And then all the players just start beating the crap out of him every game. Like flagrantly fouling Michael Jordan, not letting him get a shot off, punching him in the face, poking him in the eyes, right? And just denigrating him. That's like the equivalent of what these people are doing. You got the best player in the league are literally being bullied by all these other people that are on the other teams that can't stand it, that she's better than all of them, right? That's what's going on. And it's like, how are you going to promote a league that, allows their best friggin' player to get the crap beat out of her daily, gamely, almost every game? 2 more images. Where'd you get this one? On a milk carton, bro? Have you seen this person, Mitch McConnell? Mitch McConnell has not been seen on public since February 28th, 2024. After delivering remarks on the Senate floor, his current whereabouts are unknown. Family, colleagues, and concerned citizens are asking for the public's help in locating him. Like, dude.
I'm back. I had to go to the restroom.
Okay, August. I think was it him?
August 3rd is the cutoff date. If you want to pull it up, I can.
August 4th, I think we'll get word.
He's dead.
He's a goner. Sorry, too late. Yeah. Well, they'll probably be smart and wait till like the 5th this time. You know what I mean?
I just posted in the chat a explanation. If you want to throw it up on the screen for the viewers, you can always pause it.
You don't want to have any of those people thinking it was just because of the next day. So yeah, he's the equivalent of Ruth Bader Ginsburg at this point. Says, if Mitch McConnell were to resign or be unable to serve before August 3rd, 2026, Kentucky law mandates a special election to fill the vacancy. But under legislation passed by the Kentucky legislature in 24, Democratic Governor Andy Beshear is stripped of the power to appoint an interim senator. Instead, the governor must call a special election within 30 days of the vacancy occurring. Prospective candidates could then have 49 days to file for the position. During this interim term, the Senate seat would remain vacant. Timeline creates a potential logistical conflict as the special election process could overlap with the already scheduled November midterm elections, potentially requiring court intervention to resolve scheduling issues. Additionally, the validity of the 24 law itself could be challenged in court by Governor Beshear, marking the first time the state statute would be legally, quote, tested. Yeah, I mean, dude, do you think they all don't know what's going on? Like, do you think they all don't know that he is for a fact dead or not dead? They all know, but they're not letting us know.
Anna Luna, she posted a timestamp today that said Ruth Bader. It was to the Q post Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Really? Nice. Gotta love it.
Yeah, but I don't know if it had any validity to what's going on here with what we're talking about. But I think they all know what's going on with Mitch.
The validity. Well, speaking of Mitch, just happens 9 hours ago here. McConnell, he's not yet medically cleared to leave the rehab facility after the fall. So, wouldn't you know, Mac? We just got to keep this secret for what? 7 more days? What is it? 29, 3, 4, 3, 4.
A week.
Yeah, week day. Yeah, 7 days. So, hey, dude, they've done it this far. I think they're good to go going forward now.
I mean, this is not proof of life here. I just don't. Someone's got to do something, I would think. But her hand.
I was just going to say, it looks pretty big, huh?
Yeah, it looks pretty manly. That's not if I've looked at past photographs of her wedding ring, I don't think that's her wedding ring.
Dude, that looks like a dude's wedding ring.
So if anybody else can Yeah, it does.
And where's the engagement ring?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where's the big rock there, Mitch? You big turtle, you diamond hoarding turtle.
And it's in the same exact spot as the first picture, almost. It's the same corner of that room that we talked about. You scrolled up, you can see remember how the line, it was crooked? Like the corners are crooked. It's just a strange angle. I don't know.
Dude, you know what that reminds me of? You remember, yeah, it was during COVID. It had to be during COVID. When we kept getting all these pictures of like Tom Hanks and his wife. They kept doing all these videos, and then people kept remarking like, wait, if they're on vacation, then why does the back of the video that they keep putting out look like very bland, a very bland background, or maybe even like prison walls or something like that. But they had the same pictures in different places. Like one of them was in Australia, one was supposed to be in home. And then, I don't know if you remember this one, but it looks like they got arrested when they got back from Australia, I think it was, on one of their trips, dude. So there was a lot of weird, wild things that we saw. Don't know exactly what happened with those, but we did see them, and I got sauce for you, right? So just really quick, pop these bad boys up here. Remember this one, dude? Remember these images and these pictures that she was doing? Let me take this down a notch here.
Yeah.
Right, and so she got the similar pictures at home and away, same background. And this is a picture somebody took, I think it was in one of the articles or whatever, but this is after they just got off, and people were saying maybe they were getting arrested here. I don't know. But that was just some of the weird things and weird reporting that we were covering back in, 22, 23. So, fun trip down memory lane. But that's what that picture, for some reason, reminded me of. We went to that. Dude, who was in the... It's kind of weird now that what we're going to have to cover in a second, Mac, because Mr. Otani was actually in the White House last week, and President Trump was making kind of a big deal on that point, because obviously they won the the World Series, I guess 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So
was it 2 years? I don't know.
I think they said back to back.
They won it last year. Did they do it two years in a row? I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I know for sure. The reporting, I remember them saying back to back, but they could have been wrong, so I don't know. July 26th, yesterday.
This is interesting. It came out today. Was it today or yesterday? It looks like, but
this one's yesterday.
Yeah, the gambling scandal. So, see what they got.
Dude. And did anybody think it wasn't him? Like, really? Inside the secret parking lot meeting where Shohei Ohtani's name first surfaced in gambling scandals, ESPN's upcoming 30 for 30 podcast revisits the moment investigators and reporters first discovered an apparent financial connection between Shohei Ohtani and the illegal bookmaking operation that later helped expose Ippei Mizuhara's massive theft. In a preview for The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani, ESPN investigator Tisha Thompson recounts meeting a nervous source in a parking lot in the middle of the night after learning that a paper trail connected Ohtani's bank to his bank account to bookmaker Matthew Boyer. The source handed Thompson a phone document sent through an encrypted application. Each image would disappear after 30 seconds, leaving her only enough time to take handwritten notes. This is what she's saying in that video, right? I think she's laying this out.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. So this way is fine.
Yeah, that way we don't have to remove it later. But it says the first document showed a $500,000 transfer dated September 14th of 2023. A second one, October 2nd, for the same amount, $500,000. Both included the same banking information. Quote, later, after I drive away, I stare at the jumbled letters and numbers I scribbled into my notebook, and I realize it's routing information. I just saw wire transfers from a bank account at Bank of America, and there's a name attached to the account, Shohei Ohtani. The two payments totaling $1 million provided the first direct financial link between Ohtani's account and Boyer's operation. At that stage, however, Thompson did not know who had authorized the transfers or why they had been made. The story changed almost immediately. Another source contacted Thompson with the name of Ohtani's longtime interpreter, Mizuhara, who initially claimed that he had accumulated the gambling debts and Ohtani had agreed to pay them. Mizuhara withdrew that account the following day, beginning a dramatic sequence that led to his dismissal by the Dodgers and a federal investigation. Authorities ultimately determined that Ohtani had no involvement in the gambling. Mizuhara had gained access to the baseball star's account, impersonated him during calls with bank employees, and transferred nearly $17 million to cover his debts without Ohtani's knowledge. Mizuhara pleaded guilty to bank fraud and filing a false tax return, sentenced to 57 months in federal prison in order to pay restitution to Ohtani and the IRS. Major League Baseball closed its investigation in June of 24 after concluding Ohtani was a victim of fraud. Boyer also pleaded guilty to operating an illegal gambling business, money laundering, and filing a false tax return. He later explained that Mizuhara began betting with him after the two met through a poker game involving Angels personnel. Dude, what do you think? He's covering for Shohei, clearly. Do you think he really...
I think this is way bigger than what they're leading on. I think the MLB also probably covered it up. They've had a notorious habit of doing cover-ups. Steroids being one of them. If steroids wasn't a thing, why isn't Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame? You know what I mean? Like, they haven't really truly addressed it. Why isn't Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame?
He's not?
You know,
the frick?
I don't believe so. Trump's even posted about it.
Wow. Yeah, he should be.
Well, I don't want to get into it.
Steroids? Was it steroids?
Maybe. I don't know. I actually know the story, but I'm not going to put it publicly.
Have been falling short on the writer's ballot and later being passed over by the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee. How about Barry Bonds and McGuire?
They took some form of enhancers. I mean, there was the whole Balco thing, and it had to do with drug testing. So the Balco was like a certain type of steroid or an inhibitor that would get around the drug test that they were doing at the time.
Yeah. The what do you call them? Designer drugs, right?
Yeah, so like the NFL, they get drug tested by the U.S. government. So is the government corrupt? I think the NBA also is involved with the government. And then you have MLB that's protected by like a large players union. And they changed the drug test last time I heard to measuring your testosterone levels. So if you're on something, you'd have to go above a certain level, and that would be unnatural.
Because all people are a little different, right?
There's like a range that a normal human being would function in male, and then a range would be for a female. So when I played, I had to take pee tests. And they were fun. Not really. I'm just joking. You literally have somebody staring at you while you're going to the bathroom. Very uncomfortable. Stage fright.
I know. It's like, can you look the other? Can you turn the faucet on?
Yeah, it's awkward.
Dude, who was the guy? Was it Alex Rodriguez? I think it was Alex Rodriguez. But anyway, it may have been Bonds. But one of them took like a gummy that they said essentially they could take in like the third inning, but it would be out of their system by the end of the game.
It was like had to do with deer antlers or something like that. So they would rub it on them, and that would boost their testosterone for a short period of time. And so that if they took it, in a time interval, they would be able to not get detected. I think it was Manny Ramirez got caught taking estrogen pills because he would take estrogen to balance off the high testosterone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I just looked them. I looked up all three of those. They're not Roger Clemens, Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds. None of them are in the Hall of Fame.
Sammy Sosa's not. You know.
Sammy Sosa's
No,
white
the
now.
point. The point is the MLB might be lying.
It's possible.
I'm pretty sure they're doing something nefarious with the baseballs or the radar guns because now everyone's hitting like 105 miles an hour. And, I'm sure if you timed the release point to the glove, we could probably mathematically figure out if their guns are a little off. I think they're boosting them.
Yeah, because it looks a lot better, right? Like, oh, wait, look at it. You see 100 on the radar. People want to go see that guy firing 100,
I don't know if anybody can do a class action lawsuit, but I'm pretty sure we'd win.
But dude, think about what a piece of. I mean, if it does turn out to be this guy, it's Shohei Ohtani himself betting. Either he's like a degenerate gambler who just cannot stop or something like that. But like otherwise, why would you do that? He's making $70 million a year for 10 years.
I raise a flag because $17 million is a lot of money to disappear out of a bank account. So they would have to explain how he wouldn't been aware of that. And was the guy taking out loans in his name? I don't know. So
that's wild.
I need a little bit more details, start pointing fingers, but it is a possibility that they're keeping it under wraps because the guy is maybe the best baseball player ever.
I know, on both sides of the thing too, right? The dude hits
pitching and hits. Hits both sides of the plate. He pitches.
Oh, he switch hits too? Shit.
I thought he did. I could be wrong though.
He probably. Dude does everything, dude. Have I ever seen him bat right-handed?
He's a designated hitter and pitcher.
Bats left, throws right.
Yeah, so he throws right and bats left. So no, he's not a switch hitter.
And that's a historically, you went a lot further than I did in baseball. And I just remember like growing up, all the best players like were the pitchers, right? It's like the best batter was like the star pitcher, and then even in high school growing up. But I guess when it gets into college, that's when people is that when they basically tell them like, all right, you're not batting anymore, sit your ass down and focus on pitching. Because you would think they would just keep going and doing that. It's like, right, if you can be a great hitter, why not do both like this guy,
There's a little bit of a science behind that, but if you're really good at hitting, you just put them in the DH spot if they're not pitching, and if they're pitching, then they take the DH spot. So, it is possible. There are people that have gotten to certain points and been a pitcher and a hitter, but once you get to like the minor leagues, they usually make you pick one. So it's very interesting that he's able to do both. Now, I don't know if he was able to do both in Japan and then that allowed him to open up in the United States as both. I don't know his whole story, but it's pretty incredible nonetheless.
Yeah, genuinely awesome pitcher and genuinely awesome batter. You don't hardly ever see that. I can't remember the last guy that did that, if there was any that were like, Babe Ruth. But then put Babe Ruth to a current pitcher, he wouldn't hit a ball, I don't think. This one, Mac, we can kind of do it. This one particular story somewhat quickly, but because she's talking about
the pen.
Yeah, Miss Follow the Pen's talking about Miss Flores again, who was, I guess, working at Meta now or Facebook, alleging that she's working for the shadow government. She was running. Said there's certainly people who believe that they are the adults in the room and that they're here to make sure the political leaders that are in charge, we can't let them do anything too crazy. We're here to make sure we temper their worst tendencies. I think in effect, what you have are people who act as a shadow government, whether they think they're doing it or not. So we have the proof of this as well. We've seen the emails and whatnot. But as we're kind of going forward here, infiltration instead of invasion. I just wrote this one up as Chinese paid journalists revealed. Natalie Winters writes, here are the mainstream journalists on China's payroll. China's payroll. I exclusively uncovered the identities of prominent U.S. journalists flown to China by a CCP-linked influence operation seeking, quote, favorable coverage and positive messages about Beijing. Ezra Klein, Matthew Iglesias, Ronald Brownstein, Bradford Plumer, Marjorie Miller, Steve Clemens, John Rode, all
Hold on
these
a
jerk-offs.
second. I only find it appropriate if you say this with a Chinese accent. So.
If I say this with a Chinese accent.
Just kidding.
Also identify Steve Clemens, Donovan Rode. But yeah, a lot. None of these do I know. I can't really recognize any of the names. You know, she said prominent. Steve Clemens sounds familiar. Ezra Klein, probably read an article or two on accident from New York Times. But other than that, the point of the matter here is that why would journalists go to China anyway? And, you know, we're seeking favorable coverage and positive messages. Like, why? Why do you need them to say anything good about China? Like, and again, are they getting their 4 a.m. talking points? Who's providing their news for them? Because essentially the way news is nowadays is not one of these people, right? Columnist, co-founder, political analyst, reporter, vice president. None of these people are doing any research at all, right? So just like, say, me and Mac show up here every Monday, and I'm just like, all right, well, what are we doing for the show today? And then Mac comes in, he's like, here, I got this from the 4 a.m. talking points, and drops a bunch of links here. This is what we're talking about today. This is what they get. They get their stories laid out for them. They don't go out and do any investigative journalism, period. And then on top of it, now they're mouthpieces for friggin' China. China. Now, dude, this one I thought was a little interesting. You had dropped this one here. This is going.
We got Jen.
This is going into a link where Patrick Byrne is mentioning something about funding certain people, January Sixers, and I will say, Mac, I don't know if anybody's ever been around addicts or people that take drugs and whatnot, but they have a very specific tone to their voice when they speak, and I would claim that Mr. Byrne here is in that category. So notice when because you've heard him speak.
Colombian marching powder?
Something like that. I don't know. I mean, you've heard him speak many times, right? And I want your genuine opinion from you and from the folks in the chat. You've heard him speak many times. Have you ever heard him speak and sound exactly like this? I've not particularly. So here we go.
We got Jen.
Okay. So what I was saying was that thing about Jaden X is an example of it ain't what you don't know that hurts you. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. So yes, the woman she's asked me, but she kind of asked me in a way that said she already knew it. She didn't know it. I see somebody at the top, maybe it's you, Tish, just put up that, yes, I raised $100,000 in 2003. I raised $100,000 for Enrico Terrio. That doesn't have. But it is the case. What I told you was exactly true. In 2020, I wouldn't have known the guy if he walked up and kicked me in the knee. About a year and a half ago, I started helping Ryan Samsell and Jake Lang and these different groups. And Enrico Terrio's family came to me and said, would you help him? And so I made a pledge too. And that's that. You now know the extent of my relationship. But people like to connect 2 + 2 = 37. And they jumped to all these conclusions.
And this is the guy that told us for a long time, or didn't say anything, and then for a long time came out and said that he was working for, who was it? The FBI or the CIA? Somebody put him on this stuff. I forgot. I think it was now it's FBI and CIA.
He was tasked by the FBI to bribe Hillary Clinton.
Oh, that's right.
Am I getting that right?
That's right.
And then he was told to stand down after the fact that she had actually taken the bribe. And I don't know what Burns is informant, an agent. I don't know. He's slippery, slimy, and I can't really figure him out.
Never been a fan.
I'm not a fan. So I just collect information on him, see where it goes. He's been kind of all over the election stuff from day one. Had his nose in it a lot, so
had his nose in it.
Yeah,
get it? Nose in it. Just really quickly on top of the Shohei talk, Mr. G Fonts 119 dropped a couple dollar hollers. He says the Los Angeles Dodgers won last year's World Series over the Blue Jays in 7 games with tying home run in the 9th and series-winning home run in the 11th. Also beat my Tampa Rays in 21 in just 5 games. Also adds on that there's no designated hitter in the National League and that the LA Dodgers are part of. LA and Anaheim Angels that Ohtani previously played for is an AL team and allows designated hitter. Anaheim.
Yeah, I was speaking about prior to getting to that point where a pitcher could pitch and hit in the game and then, also play in the field or just hit,
Gotcha.
be a full-time player. That's how they get, how a person that pitches but also plays in the field got to that point. It's very rare and it's difficult to do up to a certain point. Like you can do it in college, but after that, in the minors, and you have to be well known for it. So
yeah, right.
You must be that guy.
Must be for sure. They change names, or is that two? That is 2 different teams now, right? The Anaheim Angels, LA Angels, and then now you got the Dodgers, right? I don't know if one of them moved or whatever.
They just changed locations.
Interesting, but yeah. So yeah, this guy says, enough time has passed and people saying I have no source, but admitting that he funds Jake Lang and other shady characters. So again, I've kind of been a little, not a little, but a lot, not a fan of him as well. I was going to go, you know what? I'm going to put this one aside for now, but this one, I added this in. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this is kind of where this stuff starts, guys, right? Where did the whole thing start? The whole Trump, Russia deal. 2016, senior executive George Soros Open Foundation wrote an email recording 5 words. Hillary HRC approved Julia's idea. Well, what are we talking about here? From Leonardo Bernardo, Senior Vice President for Open Society Foundations. Hi. Media analysis on the DNC hacking appears solid. This is an important story because it would be the first time that we know of that a state deliberately uses the infiltration and publication of data to interfere with the U.S. election. At the same time, politicization is on the table. I've been a bit surprised that nobody's mentioned this 18-month-long story yet in their analysis. It makes explicit reference to U.S. elections at the end. Julie says it will be a long-term affair to demonize Putin and Trump. Now it's good for a post-convention bounce. Later, the FBI will put more oil into the fire. Outcome is far from clear as Americans are more keen on their own woes and Hillary is hardly good-looking as far as credibility is concerned. Anyway, things are ghastly for U.S.-Russia relations. Hi, Hillary Rodham Clinton approved Julia's idea about Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections. That should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. I think it went to the Olympic level too, dude, right? But that is it. People need to understand where this all started and how, when we talk about the intelligence community assessment, people need to realize like, oh, well, Obama tasked us to do, A, B, and C or whatever. It's like, yeah, but they knew the whole time that it was BS.
It even said in there, if you go back real quick at the bottom.
Did I just exit out? I got it right here. Here you go. Pink.
Mentions CrowdStrike.
Oh, huge.
If you go on the bottom, they're providing something, right? In absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and Threat Connect will supply the media, and GRU will hopefully carry on to give more facts. Well, I don't know what GRU is, but
GRU, is that German, Russian, or is the GRU?
Not sure.
GRU is Russian or German?
Since they're pinning Russia, I don't know.
GRU.
GRU. There seems to be signs GRU penetration.
He thinks I'm talking about Russian. The filmmakers never mentioned. No, not talking about the movie Despicable Me. No, countries. Intelligence.
Russian military intelligence.
Yeah. So again, Julie's idea, okayed by Hillary, and they knew it the whole damn way. The whole time when they were going after President Trump and then, looking for FISA warrants, this, that, and the other. They knew it the whole damn way, the whole time. Let me see. I got Marco, always the same. I labeled this one. I don't know.
This is a distinctive and unique evil. It has always been driven by a hatred, above all else, a hatred for civilization itself. It is a revolt of the worst against the best, a revolt of the weak, cowardly, against the strong, the good. It is perpetrated by those who cannot build, who cannot create, who cannot achieve great things, and take their revenge upon the world for their own inadequacy by seeking to destroy. This is what radical leftism.
Right? That's about a year old, dude, but I thought it was worth listening to him outline how they obviously want to see this country, in ruins, and they've done everything that they could to make that a reality. And at the end of the day, they're almost like, I don't want to give anarchists a bad name, but it's almost like they want to see things. They do. They want to see things like absolutely shart the bed. And I want my country back, dude. And again, I don't know that we'll ever get that same country back, but I do want it. And, I
think we're getting there.
Yeah, I think, the 250 stuff was like, it was almost like a, hey, remember this type of thing? I mean, I was getting a lot of very fond memories listening to the music, and especially the older music and stuff, and then thinking about things that we did growing up, and it very much reminded me of my childhood.
What's the number one song for I don't know how long right now?
God bless the USA. Am I right?
The Ella, what's her name? Ella Langley, and it's Texas something.
Really?
Yeah, it's breaking like many records. Let's see here.
Ella Langley? What's her song? Maybe we'll have to end with it later. Ella Langley. Is that the one that sang the...
That's her real name.
Choosing Texas?
Yeah, Choosing Texas. That's it. Her real name is Ella Langley.
Choosing Texas. Massive breakup hit. Oh, cute. Ella Langley. To be honest with you, I'd never heard of her. Never heard of the woman before. Okay, let me see.
She was interviewed by like Theo Vaughn fairly recently. But this song's been killing it for anybody that's in the country. And I don't know what other stations play it. I don't know, but
if it's decent, if it's decent, I would listen to it. But generally, country.
I like it. It's a good song.
Not a big fan generally of it, but let me see here.
Your next girlfriend will like it.
No, I'm good, dude. And that doesn't mean I like dudes either. I'm just what do they call it? I'm taking a timeout. There we go. Taking a serious timeout. Secretary of War Hegseth delivers remarks at the Pentagon Mexican Border Defense Medal Ceremony. Says the Mexican Border Defense Medal was established in 1918 to stop other incursions and invasions. And so we're not creating something new. We're actually revived the exact same medal from 1918 to be given to all of you today as reflection. We stand on the shoulders of other great Americans who defended this nation, and it always requires the real 1% to do difficult things at difficult places. So I think that's Hung Kao right there, dude.
From day...
See if we can see any of these awards again out. You get any of them on film? It's just him talking. But yeah, we did have Hung Kao right there, dude, at the very beginning. Pretty sure that's Mr. Kao. Yeah, that'd be him. And dude, again, with the weirdness and things, like what are the odds that this dude happens to be the guy that retrieved John F. Kennedy Jr.'s body from the plane accident off of Martha's Vineyard? Right? Like, what are the odds that this guy later becomes like the head of the friggin' Navy or acting head of the Navy?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the other thing is that dude. I always remember it and then forget it. But the dude that was the Coast Guard guy that called in on that day, his voice sounds like almost to a T, like Joe M. there, the plan to save America, that very popular series of videos that we all remember there. It just, coincidentally, no big deal.
In that room right there, I find it very interesting. Stephen Miller's in there. What role is he again?
Oh, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, look at all the brass.
Yeah, what is his current?
I know he's important.
Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security, and Homeland Security Advisor.
That would be why.
Interesting. He put 45 and 47 in there. My son going.
Usually they have a government page. I thought that.
Well, yeah, you can click on to the other one there as well.
Oh, there it is. No, he doesn't really use it.
Interesting. Yeah, dude. He's I very much enjoy his speeches and when he talks to, because he absolutely torches people. This is just kind of a quick side note on Hawaii. Did you hear about? Did we cover it on this show? Blocking. Did we cover it on this show, or maybe it was a different show I covered it on? Tulsi's brother, was it?
Yes, you did.
Yes. So, more stuff out of Hawaii from 2 days ago. Hawaii's Democratic lieutenant governor indicted in state corruption investigation. He allegedly accepted campaign checks from lobbyist Toby Sullivan linked to a COVID-19 testing contract. Dude, really? COVID stuff?
Now do Governor Hogan of Maryland.
Governor Hogan of Maryland.
Yeah, he had it was like $9 million worth of faulty COVID tests. I was tracking all this stuff back in the day because I thought the tests were fraudulent. So they bought it from Korea. His wife's from Korea, I think South Korea. And it was $9 million worth of faulty tests. All of them were fake positive.
What?
And they never got the money back. So if they're getting that person, I'd be tracking down Hogan right about now.
Hogan administration spent $11.9 million on South Korean COVID tests. What?
Yeah, none of them worked.
And this is probably before they figured it out, because this is April 2nd of 21. 500,000 tests, 11.9 million. South Korea, dude, that's crazy. And they were all shitty. And dude, just remember.
Yeah.
Like, dude, remember we had, and I think that guy ended up getting killed. He was like the president of some African country that he said he took pawpaw fruits and swabbed the fruit, and then the test, and they were positive. It's like,
yeah, and that guy died.
It's just a coincidence.
Yeah. There's a thread there. I think it involves Apollo Management Company, maybe. They're hospitals, but I think he committed. I don't know if he committed suicide, but he died suspiciously. We'll say that. But he was showing that the tests were crap. He wasn't going along with their agenda, and he ended up dying suspiciously, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, here we go. 2 years later, West Baltimore is reporting. No, this is going back to 2020. He mounts stiff defense to secret deal to buy South Korean coronaviruses. So this was actually before. I thought it was after. Critical of Hogan after report. I'm trying to get anything later than 20, because everything I'm pulling up is 2020 right now.
Faulty positives or whatever, false positive.
Here we go. Oh, God. Clash over plans to give out COVID test kits. Well, that's good that they didn't, right? Because they would have been they would have said every one of them was positive. And, dude, not only that, but, like, air quotes, when I had COVID, right, I felt a little, when you get, like, a cold and it's, like, nothing, right? But you're not, you're sick, right? But it's not that bad of a cold. You can taste it or whatever. Like, I always can, like, taste my infections, if that makes sense. But it was like one of those, like, barely sick, and I was at work, and they tell, if any sickness whatsoever, you feel ill at all, go over there and take the COVID test. So went over to my work area where they had the COVID tests there, did a little swab, and yes, positive. So I had to go home for a friggin' week. right? They wouldn't let me come back for a friggin' week. But then alternatively, the November before COVID came out, me and the whole fam at the time were sick as dogs for weeks. And then again, after I was sick with COVID, I went and took another one, and I was again really sick, and they said it wasn't COVID. So I'm like,
yeah, because they just replaced COVID with the flu. It's a bunch of BS. They manipulated everything. It's not even a vaccine. They changed the verbiage of the definition of a vaccine for the COVID jab. So it's crazy. I put down the story behind the COVID jabs in Maryland at the bottom there. It'll explain there was maybe a loophole he found.
In the Miami, baby. One here? Okay. He ordered the controversial batch of 500,000 tests from Lab Genomics. The kits arrived in Maryland April 18th and 22nd of 2020 via Korean air flights. However, the tests were purchased before receiving emergency use authorization from the FDA, which is not granted until April 29th. Key details regarding the bad batch. Initial kits lacked necessary components and did not match the specifications eventually approved by the FDA. A state audit later revealed the purchase was made without a formal contract and relied on a letter of intent. The swap. In June of 2020, labs were instructed to stop using the initial kits. Governor Hogan later confirmed in July of 2020 that the state had, quote, swapped out the original test for newer, faster versions from the same company, costing an additional $2.5 million. Controversy. Critics and subsequent legislative audit argued the initial batch was largely unusable, describing the deal as lacking transparency and accountability. Hogan defended the purchase as a necessary move during a global shortage, stating the state upgraded the test to get a better product. Oh, dude. So, yeah, they should not have paid him back for this
bull
stuff.
Honky?
You say, dang nabbit?
Yeah, I don't want to cuss, but that's a bunch of BS right there.
That's a bunch of bull. That's a bunch of malarkey right there.
Political excuses that.
And again, it sounds good though, right? Like, oh, hey, we were short on tests and I needed to do. It's like, yeah, but they're all crap, and like literally, even the air quotes good ones were still bad as well. So
I'd say that's pretty fraudulent. Might be in the old Green conspiracy. I don't know. We'll see.
Dude, I certainly hope so. This is interesting. Let me think really quickly here. Mr. D Starboy, thanks, brother. Gifted out 5 subscriptions to the channel. Appreciate you, sir. And then the Reconters report dropped $1 holler on Rumble. Says, hi, Space. Would you be up for doing an interview with me on my and yours channel? Mine's in yours channel. Yeah, send me an email, spaceshot76 at protonmail.com. I guess that's a big thing because I guess some of them go .me or whatever. So protonmail.com. But yeah, send me an email. We'll chat her up, take a look at your channel and stuff. Just don't want to commit to something. Got to check you out. Got to vet you before we sweat you in the interview. I just made that up as we go. Hey, Mac, if you got to get a drink or pee-pee or anything like that really quick, I'm just going to blast out one of these Rumble commercial deals to add into the donations to keep my old lights on. So if you got to go peepers quick, go for it. And yes, I'd be very interested in getting onto other folks' shows. So definitely send it out an email. I'm definitely ready to spread my wings and fly onto other channels as well. So sounds like a good deal here. Looks like we're kind of going to do a kid's guide, I think. All right. The doggy guide. See if this works. Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got a dog at home, you already know that they're more than just a pet. Let me get this out of the way here. They're a part of the family. They're your best friend. Well, it turns out America's founding fathers felt the exact same way. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and several of the men who helped build this country all had loyal dogs by their side. Some even traveled with them during the Revolutionary War, where there were Revolutionary War and were there for some incredible moments in American history. When I found out that, I thought that's actually a really cool way to get kids interested in history. And it turns out a company called The Kids Guide is already doing this. They have a kids guide called The Kids Guide to the Founders' Furry Friends, and it shares the true stories of the remarkable dogs that belong to America's founders. It's beautifully illustrated, easy for kids to enjoy, and it teaches them about people who shaped our country through the stories of the companions they love most. And let's be honest, getting kids excited about history isn't always easy, but tell them they're about to learn about George Washington's dog, now you've got their attention. I thought it was a genuinely clever idea, and if you got kids or even grandkids who love dogs, I think they'll have a lot of fun with it too. So they're running a special offer right now that includes the Kids Guide to the Founders' Furry Friends and some other freebies. If it sounds like it's something your family would enjoy, head over to freeusadoggift.com. That's freeusadoggift.com. Boom. Mr. MaQattack back in the sack. All right, he's here, ready to rock and roll. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this one, and I got my screen blocked, so I'm going to show Mac really quick. He's going to get a 10-second sneak peek. So I thought this was interesting. Pepe D was getting out there, getting interesting and getting a little frisky. So let me see. Mr. POTUS, are you shitting me? Signed, a very concerned citizen. P.S. China will never change. That's posting out to this person who Tricia Hope is saying that she was a national delegate and I used to walk the halls of Congress for Trump and I'm not going to vote for him anymore. He's a piece of crap. And let me see here, so just so you guys know the full context of the repost. This person, Tricia Hope, who very much visually reminds me of what's his name's daughter there, the ex-vice president's daughter, Dick Cheney. Reminds me of Dick Cheney's daughter for some reason. Maybe it's this cookie cutter haircut. I don't know. But she says, I believe this man to be the greatest fraud ever perpetrated on the American people. I say this as someone who walked the halls of Congress for him 3 times and attended 42 rallies, became a state delegate and then a national delegate, all to get him in office so he could keep the promise he's made. He's a lying fraud who I sincerely hope is impeached and removed from office. This time, instead of walking the halls for Congress, I'll be walking the halls to have him removed, and it can't come soon enough. So, Mac, I had this this conversation.
Well, for what? All right. What was the reason? Did she explain?
I don't think she does. I mean, she put on, and I don't even know what this 26-second question is. Here. Oh God, is that loud? I apologize, guys. Here, hold on. Yeah, dude, that was super loud.
Mr. President, are you planning on putting any pressure or consequences on China for what you announced about them meddling in the 2020 election?
Well, we're going to talk to them about it. It took place a long time ago. I think China is maybe a little bit different today than it was then. But look, they do things and we do things to them. I'll be honest. We do things to them, too. It's not a one-way street. But we'll be talking to them. Yeah.
Mr. President.
So that was enough to go ham on him about?
Yeah, exactly. So, infiltrator.
And then he's
reposted them. Oh, it's Flynn. Okay.
So all he said in that thing was, hey, it was a long time ago. I've talked to them. It may be a different situation or maybe a different, what's going on over there is different than then. Right? And so apparently what it's saying is that this gentleman here is not clued into what this gentleman is actually doing here, or it seems. And, we've seen a few posts like this, and I've said the same thing about Alex Jones over the years, too, right? And I've said it on this show numerous times, right? I've been like 50-50 with General Flynn for a very long time, right? But
I have not.
Yeah, no, and Mac has not, and Lisa was not. They've all been kind of targets on General Flynn for a while. And so...
And if we had a differing opinion, a lot of times, not here, but online, you get attacked. And you're just trying to point out anomalies, and it's like when you get attacked by people who think somebody can do no wrong, and you can't really put together a good way of explaining what they did right, and instead of like helping the person out, it just becomes a complete slander machine. So I noticed it a long time ago, and there's some questions that need to be answered. And when I see this stuff, it just emphasizes the point that there needs to be more questions answered.
Dude, he got absolutely, from what I'm seeing here, is just getting absolutely ratioed on his own post here. Like bad. Like really
That's
bad.
good.
Well, yeah, I mean, so he's posting this out, reposting this, and then it's saying, are you shitting me? We're very concerned, and we don't think you know what you're doing, and we think we can do better than what you're doing. And so she says to him, General, thank you for the repost. Sadly, I have zero faith Trump even cares to do right by the American people. And I mean, if you didn't agree with that,
They're
then
trying to
just let it
divide
go.
MAGA and put like Flynn to run as president, Marjorie Taylor Greene as VP. There's a faction of those people that are still saying they're MAGA, and then slowly but surely, pointing out things they don't like with Trump and trying to steer people away from Trump and MAGA. So there is that faction of people that are infiltrators.
Who's that jerk off that was clandestine? Remember he was doing the
yeah, he doesn't like Flynn.
Well, he doesn't like me either, apparently. But
I don't like him.
Look, he apparently blocked like everybody. Even my buddy Hulkinator was asking just a clarifying question. It wasn't a ball busting thing either. It was just like, oh well, how about what about this part of whatever you said? Blocked. And I think he unblocked him since then. But me, I deserve my block because I was pestering the shit out of him because every day he was coming out there.
Screenshot right there, the biolabs that he stole from another person.
Yeah. No, he was the man, dude. He came out with all the stuff first. He was the guy. It was him.
He admitted to me that he got it from somebody else online, and I'm like, bro, you didn't do the research. You're just amplifying it. It's crazy, and there's a faction of people that were behind that to prop him up.
Exactly, and at the end of the day, what he kept posting was about how RFK should either be president or go with General Flynn, I think he was saying. But they also put out a video where they said like a presidential ticket, and I'm quoting, where Donald Trump is not involved. Right, and they kept reposting, and so at one point I just kept going, yeah, we get it, dude. You want RFK to be president? Like, we get it, because it was just every day, and that's what got me that's what got me. He's the biolabs guy, Mac. He stole it, just like some people stole other things. All right, we're not going to go into that right now. Okay, a funny, I guess. Funnies, muzzies, and pit bulls. Ready? You ready for this one?
Theo's he's such a sweet boy. Anyone knows dogs, he's a classic lab. He loves everyone, wants to play with everyone, but I won't let him play with pits. Because the thing is, pit bulls are like Muslims. By the way, the few people who aren't excited about this are the pit bull owners in this room. Listen, they're not all violent. Most of them aren't, but somehow almost every violent attack happens with them. They're like the Al-Qaeda sleeper cell of dogs, You'll see a pet for years, so happy, so sweet, and then they get a signal that we don't see, and they're activated, and your face is torn off. And then you have some liberal white woman defending it, saying that you shouldn't put it down, and that somehow it was your fault. They're like, well, all the ones that I grew up with were super peaceful. Great, we should put them in our dog parks, because it worked out so well in all the other dog parks, right? This is a breed that was they made it just recently. It's meant for illegal fighting. And we have to pretend that all those years of inbreeding and raising them from a young age to fight, that just goes away and suddenly they're westernized, domesticated. And you have to wonder if it's a practicing pit. And this isn't This isn't a metaphor for anything.
Love it, dude. I mean,
comedy's coming back, and it's great.
I mean, I was thinking too, it kind of applies for both, right? It's like, it doesn't mean because you're a, insert whatever, that you're a violent person. It's how you were raised, right? It's a violent Muslim, how you were raised, violent pit bull, how you were raised. And it's funny we had that you had dropped this link to, because last night I also bumped into my other cousin, Beth, who has been a show dog, a dog shower, presenter, whatever, breeder. But she had also had a new dog, Tyla. I was like, oh, hey, Tyla, cute. It's a pit bull. And it was a rescue from one of the pit bulls that she said it was a bait dog. I'm like, a bait dog? What the hell's a bait dog? Because, when they make them fight each other, I'm like, oh, that's horrible. And a couple, scars on its shoulder and on its head. But I'm like, dude, you got some cojones for getting that thing, because it might have a friggin' flashback. You never know. But that's it. I mean, comedy's good. And what they say, the best comedy is usually the most truthful things, right?
Or there's always a little bit of truth in comedy. And a joke.
Dude, and let me ask you this before I pop this up. I think you may have dropped the link. You may have not into the show links. I don't know. But so it'll answer my question. If you did drop the link, you know who this thing is or whatever. So I talked with, I had to cut my Saturday and Sunday shows only down to only 2 hours, right? But to go meet up with my uncle, my uncle, my cousin, and my cousin once removed, who is my cousin's son. And that got a whole big debate going in the chat as well. Where was I going with this? Jimothy. Have you ever heard of Jimothy? Do you know what Jimothy is? If I say the word Jimothy? All right, so you knew what that was? I had no idea what Jimothy was.
Yeah, he's going viral. Save Jimothy.
So his son was like, oh, Jimothy, you ever seen? And I'm like, what? He's like, Jimothy, you've never sseen Jimothy? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So here's another thing that you brought up, apparently, that I didn't know about, that my cousin once removed brought up as well. So I'd never seen Jimothy. I didn't know. And apparently the White House posted it out.
He has like he's a raccoon with a deformed back. And he's been around this neighborhood forever. There might be more than one is what they're saying too, but
I gotta see if there's any more.
I think Tim Burchett and
God,
Luna put out legislation to protect Jimothy.
Dude, look at the thing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That thing's got scoliosis, bro.
I don't. He's something else. I think World of Warcraft made a character out of him now.
God.
It's gone crazy, man. It's pretty funny.
I mean, dude, they got Dave Chappelle in Call of Duty now.
Who nicknamed it? Hey, that's Jimothy.
It looks like Jim and Timothy mixed together. The fourth major game to add Jimothy directly into it, not just a brand post. Add it directly into the game permanently. Tyrians, you can approach him in game where it's safe. Track him down in Lion's Arch. Dude, that's crazy. Jimothy. Reminds me of Belushi. That's funny. Oh, boy. Yeah, dude, I just never had seen him before this. We were kind of touching on this a little while ago, or maybe not so, but they need to do this, I think. Senator Ron Johnson wrote an op-ed into the Wall Street Journal where he lays out why they believe you need to move to end the filibuster now before the Democrats do, because they will do it. The 60-vote threshold stops bad bills, but it also makes it impossible for the GOP to pass good ones. So, dude, I think they definitely need to get their butts into gear. But then again, on the same time, if they get rid of it, the other side, they're going to use it anyway. So you might as well do it, right? Because whether we do or not.
Yeah, he's just said it just like that. If we don't do it, they're going to do it. And so might as well do it first, right?
Absolutely.
And what is the filibuster? Is that a Mitch McConnell thing? Is that what everyone's hanging their head around? Is that why it's stuck around?
What do you mean by?
Who came up with a filibuster? I'll look this up.
I don't know who did it for the first time. Who started it? The filibuster. I wonder who named it too.
It was 1806 is where it accidentally emerged.
Impossible. Aaron Burr removed a procedural rule that allowed simple majority to end debate. Burr did not advocate creating the filibuster. The change unintentionally made it possible. Senators later began using that loophole to prolong the debate indefinitely. So yeah, they need to get rid of it. So it's like you keep the debate ongoing. They can't get shit in edgewise. Trump gave a forceful. I'm not going to let Jack. Actually, I am going to put it on just because.
My theory is that.
Good a shitty job that they did of his makeup. I was like, wow, he looks really tan. And I'm like, no, they caked him up with makeup.
That he saw Mandami's speech and said, you know what, I want to respond to that. Yeah. I want to respond to the rise of godless communism, and he called it the inhuman vision that they have for our world, as opposed to the American vision, which is about the flourishing of all humanity. I think that he did obviously dive into politics, but I think it was necessary. The country is at risk.
He's such a slime ball, dude. I cannot stand him. But he's right about, what President Trump said anyway.
Yep.
Mandami, these people need to absolutely.
The only reason why we're playing this right now is because Trump brought it to our attention. And you gotta keep that in mind. Why does he do that? And we've had our discussions about
Jackie Posobiec.
We both do not like him. So
no.
We've been told by Q, and he's still around. He must be a agent, an intel asset.
Should I do this? Jerk off.
I don't like ruffling fifths, so.
The one with the always trust, the White House one. All right, we'll keep it in the. We'll save it into the save for now. But yeah, remember he went on a month, half a year tirade about opening these little short videos in diners. Oh, you guys know Q is fake. It's not real. Like, why are you so caring about what people believe or not? That's what I had a problem with. Like, who gave you to be the arbiter of truth or whatever? Let's see. All right. So I think we're going to have to make this the last one here, Mac. Unfortunately, we're running a little long, but I definitely want to touch on this because, let's did we get this last week? I think we did, but so we'll touch on it again just really quick. So Ashton Forbes says, in case something does happen to me, there's only one thing the world needs to know. The United States has teleportation technology. Hey, it seems impossible, but it's true. He also went on to say, the answer is Hal Puthoff, his space-time metric engineering, which he nominated for a Nobel Prize. Apparently, Mike from my Tomorrow show, Doc Mike, has worked with Hal Puthoff in the past.
Oh,
as
interesting.
Well. Yeah, so he's one of those techie guys. So he says, "Hey, this is 6 days ago, and I never saw this till you dropped this today. Actually," he says, "So do you want to know how to teleport? I do." Use dense plasma fusion reactors, which act as magnetic mirrors while outputting huge amounts of electromagnetic energy. Use an equilateral triangle configuration, n equals 3, from Sonny White's warp drive paper to create a null point between them. Hey, sounds easy enough. Converge the plasma orbs to create a dynamic Casimir effect, breaking through space-time. Set up a standing wave between two locations to connect two distant points. It's assumed another reactor or anchor is needed. Lockheed Martin built a compact fusion reactor that went dark in 2018. Huh? I forgot to mention the A vector potential, which is considered a mathematical convenience. Spin your orbs around to produce a vector potential in the direction you want the object to go. Everything is conserved except the energy released from the vacuum. Unlabored acceleration. This stuff's all above my pay grade, brother. Like way above. And he is the M357 guy that shows that video, right?
Yeah, basically, like the video came out and it showed teleportation, blinking, the object disappearing in front of your eyes. So, if you got a little bit of knowledge, you can surmise that the three orbs, there would have to be a fourth point of at least one other orb contraption of some sort where it would be teleported to. But I always told you about the plasma stuff. There's just something that holds a lot of the energy, but also what if you could configure into a plasma orb and you probably wouldn't have to abide by the regular physics of you and I.
Now,
based on frequency resonance, and you'd look like a glowing orb.
All right, now I'm going to ask a question, and I think even by the time that you answer or finish answering it, I'll probably be back and done, but I do need to hit the bathroom for about 30 seconds quick. The question is, when doing all of this stuff, right? So like my limited knowledge of this stuff, quantum mechanics and all this, that, and the other, what is that thing? What's that phenomenon called where they're linked together? The nucleus or whatever are linked, and then you could send the atom that is linked to that one anywhere, and it will move like
teleport.
Not teleport, but like they're
spooky action.
No, they're like linked together. Like to say the nucleuses or whatever are, I forget what the term is called, but they're linked. And so if you move one here, the other one
like
also
a superposition.
moves. Yes, yep, superpositioning. So like would you have to have, for this to work, or is that stuff all within the plasma? Like I don't know. Anything you want to say on that? I'll be listening. I can't talk. I'll be back 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wonder myself, if you are a certain frequency and resonance as as everything is vibrating as matter, then theoretically, according to quantum, you would have another you located somewhere else, or a mass of that similar frequency or resonance, which is interesting. I don't know much more than that. I'm sure they've been playing around with projecting your frequency and resonance into a controlled distance or location, symbolized in like teleportation on like Star Trek and stuff like that. But the Philadelphia experiment is something that I would highly recommend people to look into. I believe there's like an 8-part series on YouTube, and it was a Navy project, and get the official name for it, but the Navy is the oldest intelligence agency in the United States. And for something to work in outer space would have to be similarly functioning to something that functions in the water. So the Navy, in this effort to go to space, was included in the projects. So they probably hold a lot of the secrets to space travel and all that stuff. I think that hacker, I always forget his name, and you remind me.
McKinnon?
Yeah, McKinnon. He even hinted at the fact that there are like Navy ships, I believe it was, or at least hinted at. Anyway, their design as a cigar shape would be very similar to a submarine. You could test it underwater as well. And if you got a hold of this, yeah, he's done a few interviews. Jesse Michaels, that guy, he had to go to England because he can't fly to America. Or he had to,
that's right. He's got a little bit of legal issues
he might have met at Canada. I don't know the parameters of his travels, but Jesse couldn't interview him in America. But he's a very interesting testimony. Definitely solar
hacker.
warden.
I mean, all right,
he wasn't really a hacker. He's just a smart guy. Like they didn't have passwords on the systems and the government, and he exploited that.
Yeah, I mean,
just so I don't, I guess it would be a style of hacking because he got in trouble.
He was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be, but
yeah. But I got a couple clips at the bottom of the chat having to do with machines that warp space and time, and one of them's from was it Kratsios of Space Force, and then the other one's about a guy from Lockheed Martin. Now, when you do you can do some research and following trails like on YouTube and stuff of this stuff, and it's really interesting how far back a lot of this stuff goes.
When we do the vacuum one?
Yeah, sure. If you can,
or do you want to go the other one? Okay.
This one's cool. I think since we're talking about quantum, that's interesting.
I think it's only one side audio. Let me see.
I looked at the.
Yeah, so if you guys are hearing audio only out of your left side, it's the video. It's not the equipment we're using here. And just really quick, Mac, about this stuff. Like, I don't buy in any way, shape, or form what they present to us, right? Like, so the International Space Station, when they say they're going here, when they say they're going there, and like, so nobody has ever heard me say, because I've never said it, I've never said, like, I am a flat earther, I believe 100% the earth is flat. But the idea that what they show us, because what they show us is complete bullcocky.
It's the very front. It's the con. Like, they're not going to show us the good stuff.
Yeah, so if they are doing other things like this guy's saying, and they have far superior technology that they're not showing us, I could buy that. But the idea, like, what they're showing us is real, like, no, don't even try that shit with me. Like,
there was footage of some things in the past. The internet's gotten rid of a lot. They even got rid of all the negatives, I think, of the moon photographs and stuff. So there are anomalies, and were many testimonies of, airbrushing photos so that the public couldn't see certain structures on the moon.
Yeah. We've got
They
those.
were very tight-lipped because of the threat of nuclear war. Now that we're, I think, a lot further along, and we see the fact that there is actually a technological gap that's being presented, I'll leave it there. But this is the stuff that we're now going to be learning publicly more and more about.
And the interesting was, I looked at these plots of these gluon fields. I said, "Gee, that looks kind of like a could that be a vacuum field?" And he looked at me kind of funny, like, "How did you know about that?" He says, "Yes." He says, "You're looking at the quantum vacuum, the SU2 quantum vacuum that trillions upon trillions upon trillions of times per second is materializing and dematerializing within this hadron-occupied region of space." These are the computations, and since the period of in any hadron, it's completely reconstituted in 10 to the minus 15 seconds. Or no, it's even shorter than that. It's 1 trillionth of 1 trillionth of 1 trillionth of a second. So there's no static nucleus. It's just a constant flux of essentially vacuum energies. The vacuum is providing 97% of the energy of the atomic nucleus. And he said the interesting thing, what he says, what you're seeing, these three-dimensional forms, 3D forms, the vacuum itself, he says, is actually a 4D form. It's got one more dimension than the normal free space. So this kind of lends some credence to the fact that the vacuum actually is actually like it's greater than a 4D space-time.
That's interesting. So essentially, it's empty, right? It's not. Is that like the thing? It's not there until you observe it.
Well, for this type of thing, like a quantum vacuum, like, we can't see it. So it's like the empty space in outer space when we're looking. It's like the blackness between the stars. Is kind of like how I reference it. It's the stuff we can't see. It's the energy held together for an atom to stay together, or any type of matter, really. But the whole concept of everything's vibrating. Our brains are incredible. They interpret the vibration and they make it into a solid form, and I don't know much more than that, but it's it's an interesting conversation, because it takes a lot to put it into a conversation that's understandable, and at the same time being able to, like, build upon it to continue the conversation, because it is really a confusing science. It's not spelled out. Like, they give you a percentage of an area that something's going to be in. So it's like math based on it's a probability of something happening.
Yeah.
And then in that probability of something happening, more than one thing could happen at once.
Just wild. Well, let's add some more weirdness to it.
Our passenger planes are slower than they used to be. Our trains crawl compared to those in other parts of the world. Our cars do not fly. Advances have not stopped, but something has gone wrong. Stagnation was a choice. We have weighed down our builders and innovators. The well-intentioned regulatory regime of the 1970s became an ever-tightening ratchet, first hampering America's ability to become a net energy exporter and then making it harder and harder to build. We seem to have lost focus and vision, to have lowered our sights and let systems and structures and bureaucracies muddle us along. But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity.
So they've been lying to us for a while.
Yeah. And then the other interviews, the guy talked about Lockheed Martin and basically the warp drive, where it's a little longer, but it's worth a listen at least a little bit.
We gotta definitely wrap after this one here, but
yeah, no problem.
I love
I
this.
just looked at the time. Wow. Well, we could probably do a whole show if you want to invite some other people. I've got so much material we could go over and just get everybody's reactions and
UFO stuff.
Yeah, and the science behind it and the history and all that stuff. Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to go over.
How many million miles are we from Mars here? And I'm getting notification that we have Miss Julie Donuts in the chat. Hello, Miss Julie Donuts, and we played your clip of Jim Rickards earlier, so if you might be back on that, but welcome in, and gonna play this clip right here for you all.
We have in Lockheed right now, there are craft that can go to Mars in a few hours, right now in Lockheed.
So how do you know what they have at JPL? How do you know they have...
Not JPL, Lockheed.
Lockheed. How do you know that Lockheed has this technology that we can get to Mars in a couple hours?
Lockheed has, I think, some assets in Nevada, but they have a lot of corporate facilities in California, in the state of California. And supposedly there is this shack on the side of a highway in California that looks like some nondescript warehouse, small warehouse. And you go into this warehouse, and the whole floor of the warehouse is an elevator. And it drops Lord knows how many hundreds of feet, and you're inside of a basically a facility carved out of rock, deep underground.
Yeah.
And what this guy said is that they are not only reverse engineering craft from retrieved debris in this facility, but they're actually training pilots to fly them. And he told me that the main problem that they have in that training program is that the pilots experience extreme disorientation because of the warping of space-time by these craft. In other words, they discovered early on, and this is, I think, one of the main reasons, and we can get into this in much more depth if you want. This is one of the main reasons this technology is being hidden, because they discovered very early on that these are not simply devices with propulsion systems capable of navigating space very quickly. Like they can take you from New York to Australia and, right? They're flying time machines. They warp time as they traverse space.
Right.
And our pilots don't know how to handle that. They have a very hard time. They get disoriented, temporally disoriented. They get their sense of the passage of time gets really messed with. So anyway, he told me he went down into this facility and that they're reverse engineering stuff and that they're trying to train pilots in how to fly these reverse engineered zero-point energy craft. But okay, what's the really important thing about that is that on a theoretical level about how UFOs are actually time machines. And if you really stop and think through that carefully, you realize why, under the current socio-political conditions, this technology can't be released. With the kind of society we have, right, domestically, globally, with the state that humanity is in at the present time, the release of that kind of technology into the public sphere would be utterly catastrophic, right? I mean, you can't give Tom, Dick, and Harry a time machine to put in their garage. You see, that's the thing. It's not like these are Jetsons cars that just, fly you across country really fast. They allow you to traverse different epochs in human history. And I think one of the reasons that our history is so messed up, when you look at these really regressive, tyrannical religious belief systems and the kinds of political structures that formed around them and that were fortified by them, I think a lot of what's going on there is that our timeline has been manipulated. It's been manipulated at all junctures, from the present far into the future.
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
That'd be crazy if true.
I don't know if this is going to pop up a different browser maybe, but this is just funny because I was looking at, all right. But yeah, dude, that's wild. The technology that they have, of course, they're not going to give us the most, up-to-date stuff that they know of. They're never going to tell us currently. But that also makes a really good point about, not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can have this technology because, do you trust somebody to not go back? Like, all right, I got to go back and kill Hitler as a baby or something. You know what I mean? Something like that or whatever that could have an effect in the ripple of time. And it's, I don't know. Do you believe you can go back in time and then into the future? Like, if the future hasn't happened yet, does it exist? Like, and does time even exist?
Well,
It's always now.
Yeah, time's a human construct. It really is just an identifier for us for living. We're born and then we die. So that's kind of like, and it's linear, but that's maybe not how the actual universe functions. And there might be ways to, get around that. One thing that was interesting, I put it in the chat. I don't know if you want to just wrap it up. Trump was on Joe Rogan and he was asked about, aliens, and he said, I don't know if you want to play it. And I think it's.
Let's see, how long is this bad boy?
You can just play the beginning part. You don't have to play all of it. Because it's just the comment I want him to
say. We got
and I know you're interested. Oh, I'm very interested in that.
Why I cannot stand when people do this crap. Like, stop putting the stupid music on the crap.
How much did they tell you about that? A lot, really.
See?
Well, yeah. I just wanted the beginning part, but the beginning part is people coming from space, is what he says. So that's when you wonder, did the elites? Are they? I've heard that they were already on Mars. They're already on the moon. So is that why? And are they harnessing that technology, or have been, so that the public doesn't know? They've kind of done a breakaway almost. And Elon wants to go to Mars so bad because we got to play catch up to get there. That's one of the
bonus
theories. Yeah, one of the theories I have, and I found in that video there the dragon at the end. Are they hinting at dinosaurs being actually dragons? Like, everyone's kind of.
I'd buy that more than I buy dinosaurs being real, bro. That's for sure.
And then the UFO over the White House is July 1952 when they had the orbs over the White House, if you remember.
I remember. Definitely remember seeing the videos. And then we had that. Then we had the Battle of Los Angeles. Remember they were throwing up cannons and stuff. But here's the other thing too. Like, on the side of what I said earlier, like flat Earth and round Earth stuff, like, I don't buy what they're presenting us, because clearly that stuff's fake. But why, at the end of the day, couldn't they go up to the moon and, with the unknown to us technology that they have that they're not showing us, and go up there and plop up a friggin' flag or something that people could see? Because even to this day, nobody can point a friggin' camera up there and see anything. You know what I mean? That's the issue that I have with that stuff. But
yeah, I don't know about the flag stuff. I mean, I just know that they've had photographs for a long time. I don't think they could fake the negatives. Now, were they on the moon? I don't know.
Right.
But I just know the fact that the whole thing is to dumb down society so that the elites can still have more control. So claiming that the Earth is flat would dumb down the entire thing so people can't see what's truly been going on. Like the UFO, UAP thing, whatever it may be, it's a layer that people never thought was possible. So I think people need to keep a little bit more open mind of what they've been lied to about, and how actually extravagant the technology actually is. How we're getting there? Are we using a Stargate, a portal, or are we use? I think if we're going to be doing something, a Stargate or a portal would be the easiest way and the best way to travel, because you wouldn't have to use a spacecraft. You just step through and you get to the other side.
Just like the portal, baby.
Like teleportation is, that would make travel to another planet really, really easy. So
absolutely, and dude, what a great.
Oh, is that true? Is it possible nowadays? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've hinted at the technology being there.
I'm telling you, they got much better technology that they are sharing with us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put this on, but I'm not going to play it. I'll just put this on for you guys to listen to me say some thank yous on the way out of here. Always a great show, Mac. Lots of info in this one
thank
too.
You.
And
appreciate everybody that tunes in, and appreciate obviously me being a part of the show. So until next week.
Absolutely. I'm over here on thepill.net, aka Foxhole, the Foxhole.app, where Sean Joe, Space Squad member, dropped a cookie. No message on there, but thank you. Q shook me all night long with another cookie. No message there, but thank you. Followed by 2 more cookies from Sean Joe. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Moonbaby0437 dropped a cookie. Says, thank you for the news, guys. Love the show. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for tuning in, each and every one of you guys and gals out there. Sean Joe with another cookie again. Wonder what that is. Is that enough, the amount of people that are liking his post or something like that? I don't know what that is. It's like a number next to his name that says, it says Sean Joe, and then it says 6 above his name to the right. So I don't know what that is. Anybody know what that is? Right here, 6 substreak, 6 months. Okay, there we go. So thank you for that, brother. And then Trump Red Pill 1 with the cookie says, "What's new?" Oh, there's a lot of new stuff. And then followed up by 2 more cookies from Trump Red Pill. So thank you guys for that. And I am not forgetting to release the scratchin'. I am doing that as we speak. Clicky click, scratchins are released into the nature now. Just really quick, any viewers that are out there know anybody who's live I should raid into, drop a name and I will raid over to them as well. Let's see. Big Gouda says Jimothy equals Belushi. That's worth $1. Big Gouda. I'll take the $1, but that wasn't my joke. Somebody on Twitter or whatever had that post. So, Mr. Maxer, any parting words for the wonderful world patriots and mods out there?
Oh, just thanks to everyone that tunes in, like I said, and always appreciative to be a part of the show every week. And thank you. It's been a great ride. Looking forward to the next week and updating everybody, and hopefully we getting some arrests coming up. Fauci testimony is going to be interesting if he shows up. So,
dude, I'm gonna have my phone fully charged. I plan
hope
to be
it's
home
televised.
that day.
It better be.
Oh, I think we'll get something. I can't wait, but I cannot wait to see the result of that. But yeah, great show, brother, as usual. Time flies when you're having fun. That's 3 hours. 3 hours and 35 minutes went by in the snap of a finger for me, anyways. But
wow.
Yeah, always a blast. And thank you to the mods out there. I do appreciate your help greatly. And I'm gonna end with a newer one that I ended with yesterday, Mac. I don't know if you ended up getting to see it, but check out the live stream here. A different one that I found from Cappy, I guess they're attributing it to Cappy. It's called like Ultra White Light. I don't know who made it, but I found it on somebody on Twitter who I gave credit to yesterday, and I forgot the name already. But thank you to the mods again. I'll be live with Mr. Ghost, Doc Mike, and Mr. Armando from Truth Table News tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch us there. And for Mac and myself, we do appreciate each and every one of you wonderful world patriots out there for tuning in. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion.
You have all the money in the world. You have all the power you need. What's the point? What's the end goal? He said the end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society.
Body in
is a gift